Let's go to Google Finance real quick. Hold on, I think it started.
Good afternoon, everyone,
Good
and
afternoon.
welcome to Tesla's fourth quarter 2025
Happy to
Q&A
be here.
webcast. My name is Travis Axelrod,
Hi,
Head of
Travis.
Investor Relations, and I'm joined today by Elon Musk, Vaibhav Taneja, and a number of other executives. Our Q4 results were announced at about 3 p.m. Central Time in the update deck we published at the same link as this webcast. During this call, we will discuss our business outlook and make forward-looking statements. These comments are
Lock in,
based
yo.
on our predictions and expectations as of today. Actual events or results could differ materially due to a number of risks and uncertainties, including those mentioned in our most recent filings with the SEC. During the question and answer portion of today's call, please limit
Travis.
yourself to one question and one follow-up. Please use the raise hand button to join the question queue. Before we jump into Q&A, Elon has some opening remarks. Elon?
Thanks, Travis. So we've updated the Tesla mission to Amazing Abundance, and this is intended to send a message of optimism about the future. I think we're most likely headed to an exciting, amazing era of abundance, and I think with the advent or with the continued growth of AI and robotics, I think we actually are headed to a future of universal high income, not universal basic income, but universal high income. I mean, there's going to be a lot of change along the way, but that is what I see as the most likely outcome. So I think that it makes sense to update Tesla's mission to reflect that goal. And obviously along that way, we're going to keep improving safety, driving down the cost of goods, and getting people access to anything they need without compromise, and still making sure that the environment is great, nature is great, and people can have whatever they want, which seems like probably the best future. I'm open to other ideas, but that sounds like it sounds like if you could say what is the best future you could possibly imagine, I guess it would be that everyone can have whatever they want, including amazing medical care, but we still keep the beauty of nature and Earth. I think that's probably the best outcome.
I love that. Abundance.
And we're seeing obviously the first steps along that way this year for Tesla, first major steps as we increase vehicle autonomy and begin to produce Optimus robots at scale. We're making very, very big investments. So this is going to be a very big CapEx year, as Vaibhav will get into. That is deliberate because we're making big investments for an epic future. So
Epic
I think
future,
all these
chat.
investments
Epic
make a lot
future.
of sense. We'll continue to make sure that when we do spend capital, it is spent very efficiently. But it's a lot of things. Major investments in batteries and the entire supply chain for batteries. We're also going to be significant manufacturers of solar cells, and we're making massive investments in AI chips. So, but I think these all make a ton of strategic sense, and then I guess I have like one, I guess. It's not exactly bad news, but it's time to basically bring the Model S and X programs to an end with an honorable discharge, because we're really moving into a future that is based on autonomy, and so if you're interested in buying a Model S and X, now would be the time to order it, because we expect to wind down S and X production in next quarter, and basically stop production of Model S and X next quarter.
These are chalked. No more of these, y'all.
We'll obviously continue to support the Model S and X programs for as long as people have the vehicles, but we're going to take the Model S and X production space in our Fremont factory and convert that into an Optimus factory, which will, with the long-term goal of having 1 million units a year of Optimus robots in the current SX space in Fremont. So that is mean, it's slightly sad, but it is time to bring the SX programs to an end and shift. Really, it's part of our overall shift to an autonomous future. As my profile picture on X said for a few months there, the future is autonomous. So let's say with respect to full self-driving and robotaxi, people are obviously following with very close attention the progress of FSD, and you can experience it for yourself.
Thank you for showing love all the way in
Tesla,
Iraq.
You notice with every software update, the car gets better and better at autonomy, and we're we
How y'all
able to
feeling
do
about
our
this?
first rides with no safety monitor in the car in Austin. These are paid rides, so these are just sort of randomly selected paid rides with no safety monitor, and we're, I think maybe as of maybe yesterday or so, we actually don't even have a chase car or anything like that. So these are just cars with no people in them, and no one's following the car in Austin. So we obviously are being very cautious about this because we want to have no injuries or serious accidents along the way. So I think it makes sense to be very cautious, but you'll see the amount of autonomy increase dramatically, I think, every month, essentially. So,
Hey, Boogie, what's up, Dwayne?
and then there will also be an opportunity, something we've talked about for a long time, for existing owners of Teslas to add or subtract their cars to the fleet, kind of like how
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Airbnb
that.
works, where you can add or subtract your house to the Airbnb inventory. And I think probably the value of the Tesla, the sort of partial people adding or subtracting their costs to the Tesla autonomous fleet is probably a little underweighted by a lot of people, because we've got millions of cars with AI4 that can do this. So, it's that it might potentially, I think it will provide an opportunity for a lot of customers to earn more by lending their car to the fleet than their lease cost to Tesla. Which is it's kind of like you get in that scenario, you basically get paid to own a Tesla. It's quite a good scenario.
I could put my Tesla out on this fleet, y'all.
And
Passive
and
income.
we expect to have fully autonomous vehicles in, probably, I don't know, somewhere between a quarter and half of the United States by the end of the year.
What?
Pending regulatory approval. A big factor
Fully
would be
autonomous
if
in half
there's
of the
some kind
U.S.
of
by the end of the year.
preemption for autonomous vehicles. In the absence of that, you kind of have to go on a city by city or state by state basis.
Hi, Dad, you're funny.
But nonetheless, we even if it is city by city, state by state, we expect to be in, I don't know, dozens of major cities by the end of the year. With respect to energy, the Tesla energy team has done incredible work, and the growth rate on that is continuing to be very strong, and we're building more manufacturing capacity, and expect that and energy will have very high growth for really as far into the future as we can imagine. The solar opportunity is underestimated. We think the best way to add significant capability to the grid is, or not even to the grid, let's say it's powering AI data centers, is solar and batteries on Earth and solar in space. So that's why we're going to work towards getting 100 gigawatts a year of solar cell production, integrating across the entire supply chain from raw materials all the way to finished solar panels.
That's SpaceX, not Tesla.
maybe a bit more about Optimus. We'll probably unveil Optimus 3 in a few months. And I think it's going to be quite surprising to people. It's an incredibly capable robot. And as I mentioned, we're replacing the SX line in Fremont with a million unit per year line of Optimus.
That's insane.
Now, because it is a completely new supply chain, there's really nothing from the existing supply chain that exists in Optimus. Everything is designed from physics first principles. So that means the normal S-curve of manufacturing ramp will be longer for Optimus than it is for products that have at least some portion of an existing supply chain. Like when everything's new, the production rate will be proportionate to the least lucky, least confident part of the entire supply chain. And if there's 10,000 things that need to go right, it's, it only takes one to be slow to lag that. But so it will be sort of a stretched out S-curve, but I'm confident that we'll get to 1 million units a year of in Fremont of Optimus 3. And this
how much is it gonna
Optimus
cost?
really will be a general purpose robot that can learn by observing human behavior. So you can like demonstrate a task or literally verbally describe a task or show it a task, even show it a video, and it will be able to do that task. So it's
Richard, what's up, man?
It's going to be a very capable robot. I think long-term Optimus will have a very significant impact on the U.S. GDP. Like it will actually move the needle on U.S. GDP significantly. So, in conclusion, there's still obviously many who doubt our ambitions for creating amazing abundance, but we're confident.
For Laura and Richard, what's up, y'all?
And that we're making the right moves.
Yeah, my friend Elon's talking right now,
to ensure
Richard.
that it does. And Tesla's obviously never been a company to shy away from solving some of the hardest problems.
I'm on FaceTime.
It's I think that's kind of how you build value in a company is you solve hard problems. It's like I don't know how you create value by solving easy problems.
That's my boy.
So there's a lot of hard problems that the Tesla team is going to solve, but it's an incredibly talented, hardworking team. And I'd like to thank actually everyone at Tesla for their incredible hard work. And it's an honor to work with such a talented group. So thank you to everyone who is supporting this mission. The future is more exciting than you can imagine.
W.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Elon. And next we have some remarks from Vaibhav. Go ahead.
Now the CFO's gonna
Thanks, Travis.
start talking numbers.
So Q4 25 was an interesting quarter in a couple of respects. On the autos front, while in Q3 we saw a surge in U.S. demand before the IRA consumer credit cliff, pulling in some demand from Q4. In other parts of the world, we saw increase in demand leading to record deliveries in smaller countries like Malaysia, Norway, Poland, Saudi Arabia, and Taiwan, while continued strength in the rest of APAC and EMEA. We therefore ended 2025 with a bigger backlog than in recent years. Note that none of these countries have the latest version of FSD supervised available yet. On the storage front, we hit yet another record in terms of deployments. I would like to thank our customers and Tesla in continuing this momentum. On the automotive margins front, automotive margins excluding credits improved sequentially from 15.4 to 17.9%. The automotive gross profit was flat sequentially despite 16% lower deliveries, primarily due to regional mix as we had proportionately more deliveries in APAC and EMEA. As we look to 2026, with the progress that has been made with autonomy, our focus is on ramping production at all our factories. Our biggest constraint globally continues to be on the battery pack front. While our teams have been creative in trying to resolve the situation by now putting 4680 cells in non-structural packs, we continue to iterate improving things from here on. FSD adoption continued to improve in the quarter, reaching nearly 1.1 million paid customers globally.
Dang.
Of these, nearly 70% were upfront purchases. It is important to note that beginning this
Chad, I ain't gonna hold it. This is the boring part of the earnings call. I kind of just tuned in just to hear Elon speak. But let's listen anyway. Because like we can read these numbers. So what's happening is you're literally not missing anything. He's just reading the numbers. What is gonna happen? So you hear the intro from Elon. He sets the tone of like the year and where the year is headed. So 2025 historical review, 2026 outlook, and as you can see, he's heavily focused on abundance of autonomy in FSD, as well as implementing AI within this amazing Optimus program. Now you're going to hear the CFO guy yap about the numbers. Then after this, it's going to be a good discussion because there's going to be Q&A. All right. So Q&A is where the analysts are going to ask questions directly to Elon and the CFO, specifically around the most needle-moving topics that's around the narrative for the stock. All right. I'm just giving you guys a little lay of the land. Back to our lecture from the CFO.
from higher employee-related costs for service centers.
And by the way, hope you guys are having a freaking fantastic freaking day. Thanks for tuning in to the earlier stream today. W's to everybody in the chat. Hothead, Falara, and Richard. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but amazing follower from Iraq. Boogie, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in early. And hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button.
Criteria are also included within this. Given that we're still in the early phase of our fleet deployment and are still doing a lot of validation testing, the revenue and cost per mile metrics are not meaningful to discuss at the moment. Then on total gross margin front, we ended the quarter with over 20.1%, something which we haven't achieved over the last 2 years.
And here's my research, y'all.
This improvement came despite the impact of lower fixed cost absorption and the impact of tariffs, which were in excess of $500 million in Q4. Operating expenses increased sequentially, primarily from increased stock-based compensation for employees, and as we started recording charges for one operational milestone under our 2025 CEO Performance Award that was deemed to be probable over the award term. Additionally, our spend on AI-related initiatives and new products like CyberCab, Semi, Optimus, and Megapack, etc., continues to be on elevated levels, and we expect this trend to continue for the full year 2026. Net income was negatively impacted from mark-to-market charges on a Bitcoin holding, which depreciated 23% as compared to the last quarter, and the impact of unfavorable impact of FX, primarily from our large intercompany borrowings. On the free cash flow front, we ended up at $1.4 billion.
Check out my analyst, y'all.
We did end up CapEx being slightly below our previous guidance of $9 billion.
This guy's so boring.
But like as Elon already mentioned, this year is going to be a huge investment year from a CapEx perspective. And at the moment, we're expecting that CapEx would be in excess of $20 billion. We'll be paying for 6 factories, namely the refinery, LFP factory, CyberCab, Semi, a new mega factory, the Optimus
Putting us to
factory.
sleep, right?
On top of it, we'll also be spending money for building our AI compute infrastructure, and we'll continue investing in our existing factories to build more capacity. And then, also the related infrastructure along with it. And we'll also further expand our fleet of Robotaxi and Optimus. While this may seem a lot, we believe this is the right strategy to position the company for the next era. And we'll make such investments, as Elon mentioned, in a very capital-efficient manner. Note that this does not include potential investments in solar cell manufacturing or our Terafab, as we're still in early phase, and we plan to provide an update in future quarters.
It is boring, but it's important stuff, so pay attention.
We're starting not the next chapter, but a new book on the progression of this company. 2026 year would be when all of this began. While at times it feels daunting, it is going to be the most exciting change in Tesla's history, And we could not have even dreamed of embarking on this journey without the support of our customers and our investors. Thanks for again showing the confidence in us.
Okay,
and
okay,
let's
wrap
get
this up,
ready
bro.
for a future of amazing abundance. Thanks.
Great. Thank you very much, Vaibhav. Now we're going to head over to investor questions. As always, we will start with questions from say.com. The first question is,
this is most important.
Today there are approximately 90 million cars sold globally each year. Does Tesla have a view, based on its robotaxi ambition, what this number will be in 5 or 10 years? And how does this impact Tesla's EV strategy to have more models?
Yeah, thanks, Travis. As Elon said, the future is autonomous, and obviously autonomy and Cybercab are going to change the global
already in
market
there.
size and mix quite significantly.
My
I
question's
think that's
next.
quite obvious. You know, general transportation is going to be better served by autonomy as it will be safer and cheaper. And over 90% of vehicle miles traveled are with 2 or less passengers now, which is why we designed Cybercab that way. In this new autonomous market, we at Tesla have the advantage of efficiency, cost, and manufacturing at scale that really no one else has. And we've built that over the last decades. And we believe that that segment that we are creating will grow millions year over year.
Just to add to what Lars said there, it's worth the point that Lars made, which is that 90% of miles driven are with 1 or 2 passengers, or one or two occupants, essentially, is a very important one, because that implies that the Cybercab, which is a dedicated 2-seater dedicated robotaxi. It's a little confusing with the terms robotaxi and Cybercab. Sorry about the confusion, but and in fact, in some states, we're not allowed to use the word cab or taxi, so it's going to get even more strange. It's going to be like cyber vehicle or something, cybercar. But the Cybercab, which is a specific vehicle model that we're making, does not have a steering wheel or pedals. So this is clearly, there's no fallback mechanism here. It's like this car either drives itself or it does not drive. And we expect to start production in April. As always, it's an S-curve of, the production rate is an S-curve, so it starts off very slowly and then grows exponentially. Then you hit the linear, and then ultimately, it asymptotes at whatever your target volume is. So
He's so smart.
but we would expect over time to make far more Cybercabs than all of our other vehicles combined. Given that 90% of distance driven, or distance traveled, exactly, no longer driving, is 1 or 2 people. I think it's like 80% is just 1. So it would mean that long-term Cybercab would make several times more Cybercabs per year than all of our other vehicles combined.
Great. Thank you so much. The next question, a bit related. Are there still plans to launch new models to address different price segments and vehicle types, which could materially expand the TAM for Tesla?
You want a Model K?
Yeah.
Or Model C for
To
check
further on
capital?
what we were just talking about, we've launched our least expensive models ever over the last few months and are continuing to expand those models globally. And over the last decade, we have continually brought down the cost of our vehicles without sacrificing range, performance, or premiumness. And we'll continue to do that, as Vaibhav said, investing in our factories. But these are all trade-offs of where we spend our time or money. And to Elon's point just now, with Cybercab coming, we are aiming to bring that Tesla premium ride experience to our largest market yet. That could be 5 or 10 times our current levels of production. This new autonomous market, you have to start thinking about us as moving to providing transportation as a service more than the total addressable market for the purchased vehicles alone. And of course, we do have plans to have robotaxis in various shapes and sizes, but obviously Cybercab will be the grand majority of that volume.
Yeah, the vast majority of miles traveled will be autonomous in the future. I would say probably less than, I'm just guessing, but probably less than 5% of miles driven will be where somebody's actually driving the car themselves in the future, maybe as low as 1%.
Trenton Jackson, thank you for the sub.
Great.
Welcome to the fam.
The next question is, historically, Tesla has spoken about gross margin per model. Are there standalone gross margin targets for the current models, excluding the benefits for FSD sales?
Oh,
You know, we've talked about this with the previous two questions, but
Chat, y'all see this?
transportation, as we know, is changing. And I think we cannot keep applying the same
he's not really saying anything there. Needle moving right now. It's a simple question. You guys see this? Stock has literally popped when they released the numbers press release. While they were talking, it was kind of flat. Something sparked a crazy sell-off. But now, the after close rally from the earnings is completely gone. They didn't like something he just said, y'all. Let's get back to what they're saying.
we need to look at it from a different dimension.
Yeah, like this Cybercab, that is the whole design of Cybercab was to optimize the fully considered cost per mile of autonomous driving. And it's a different design problem than if you're trying to design cars for people who will be driving versus being driven. So Cybercab is like I said, super optimized for minimum cost per mile and also for a much higher duty cycle. So it would expect Cybercab to be used, probably 50 or 60 hours a week instead of the 10 or 11 hours a week that a driven vehicle is used. So, typically people might drive their car for an hour and a half a day on average, so it's like 10 hours per week out of 168. But I think an autonomous vehicle is likely to be used probably 5 times as often, which means that you need to design the vehicle for a much more wear and tear per unit of time and much more resilience. It's more like a commercial truck that's in continuous operation or close to continuous operation is how you design an autonomous vehicle. And so we will have larger vehicles in the Cybercab in the future that are designed for full autonomy. And we've actually shown pictures of this and, in fact, have shown prototypes. So this is not exactly a secret. In fact, we've given people rides in them. So, we're not keeping this, hiding this light under a bushel here. It's like we're literally saying what we're going to do and have said what we're going to do for a while. I think long term we would really the only vehicles that we'll make will be autonomous vehicles, with the exception of the next generation Roadster, which we're hoping to debut in April. Hopefully, it's going to be something out of this world.
Out of this world.
Fantastic.
Prestige worldwide.
The next question we unfortunately have to skip because it's not related to Tesla, and we would like to remind folks who use the Say platform to please focus these questions on Tesla. So with that in mind, we're going to move on to the next question, which is, what is the current bottleneck to increased robotaxi deployment and personal use unsupervised FSD?
They skipped my question.
The safety and performance of the most recent models.
I'm joking.
Is it the safety and performance of the most recent models, or is it people to monitor the robotaxis in car or remotely, or is there some other blocker? I don't know, Ashok, if you want to kick off on this one.
Yeah, we have scaled the robotaxi service that's available to customers over the last year in order to just learn the scaling problems without having to wait for the unsupervised. Basically, like two goals. One is learn as much as possible from the fleet with the safety monitors, and secondly, be laser focused with the engineering team to solve the unsupervised FSD problem. I think we did both. By the end of last year, we had a long tail of issues that we were able to churn through, and then in the last couple of weeks, we had started our unsupervised robotaxi service to public customers in Austin. I think some customers took rides last week, and also the service continues today without any rear car or something like that. Separately, we did scale the fleet size in the Bay Area and in Austin, and through that we learned issues with charging and other issues that we would have seen once we scale the unsupervised fleet. So both are happening in parallel. A variant of the software that's used for the robotaxi service was shipped to customers with V14, and customers saw a huge jump in performance, a lot of happy feedback from customers. And since then, we have improved the software significantly as well. And customers will continue to see with their own software releases that the software is so good that they're like screaming to remove the driver monitoring software because they're bored inside the car too much.
Adding to that a little bit with what Ashok said about learning about our charging and service needs, we're using our vast network of charging and service centers that really only Tesla has in this space to jumpstart our infrastructure build-out needs to get ahead of robotaxi and autonomous vehicle demand. And we expect that because of this network, we are the only company capable of scaling at the rate that is needed for the tsunami of autonomy that is coming.
Yeah.
Great. Moving on to the next question. After the unveil of the Cybertruck, Elon stated that if it didn't sell well, Tesla would build a more conventional looking pickup. How practical would it be to create this new design on the Cybertruck architecture, and could it be conveniently built on the existing production lines?
Actually, in its segment, Cybertruck continues to be a leader and is selling more than any other electric truck out there, while our competition continues to pull back. But to the question itself, from a line standpoint, we always design our lines to be super flexible. We built 3 and Y on the same line. We built S and X on the same line still, showing that we can do that. The Cybertruck line was designed in the same way and is one of our most fully ready for autonomy platforms.
Yeah. We will transition the Cybertruck line to just a fully autonomous line. And there's obviously a market there for cargo delivery, like you say, like localized cargo delivery within a city, within a few hundred miles, something like that. There's a lot of cargo that needs to move locally within a city, and an autonomous Cybertruck could be very useful for that.
Great. Moving on to the next question. Regarding Optimus, could you share the current number of units deployed in Tesla factories and actively performing production tasks? What specific roles or operations are they handling, and how has their integration impacted factory efficiency or output?
Amazing question.
Yeah, I mean, we're still very much at the early stages of Optimus. It's an R&D, it's still in the R&D phase. We have had Optimus do some basic tasks in the factory, but as we iterate on new versions of Optimus, we deprecate the old versions, and so it's not I wouldn't say it's like it's not in usage in our factories in a material way. It's more so that the robot can learn. We wouldn't expect to have any kind of significant Optimus production volume until probably the end of this year.
Great.
That's a bad comment.
Optimus Gen 3 is an awesome robot that
It is awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome robot that minimizes any differences. It's basically, it looks like a human. People could be easily confused that it's a human. And this helps our strategy for the AI too, because you can learn from how humans do these tasks, and it's very easy to teach the robot to do in the same way as opposed to previous robots.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one thing I should say, is there's a lot of news of various companies announcing layoffs and whatnot, but at our Tesla factory in Fremont, we actually expect to increase headcount over time, and to significantly increase output from our factories. So we don't have any layoff plans. We expect to actually increase headcount.
Great. The next question, similar to the other autonomy questions, but slightly different. When is FSD going to be 100% unsupervised?
Well, it is 100% unsupervised, and FSD is 100% unsupervised. I mean, we obviously have cars operating with no one in them and no safety monitor and no follow car or anything like that in Austin right now. For customers, we're being just very cautious with the rollout. I mean, with each successive version, as we prove it out, and we make sure that there are no sort of unique issues in particular cities, because sometimes you get some very difficult intersection, and it'll be an intersection where a lot of humans have accidents. By the way, there's some some pretty nutty intersections where there are a lot of humans make mistakes and have accidents in various cities. So we want to make sure that FSD can handle those unusual intersections. Like if you take LA, for example, where Wilshire and Santa Monica combine is like there's about, I don't know, 20 traffic lights. And people are constantly having accidents there. So you want to make sure that FSD can handle unique things in a particular city. And we're also just being paranoid about safety. But with each successful release of FSD, we will reduce the amount of driver monitoring that's needed proportionate to the safety of the FSD build.
Great. As it relates to Robotaxi, what has surprised you about the rollout so far? We've talked about what's constrained the fleet expansion to date, but it appears there are 200 vehicles based on public tracking. Is that something that we can confirm?
I wouldn't say there's anything that like really surprised us because we are a large fleet. We had all the metrics, so there was not sort of a surprise. It was just continued work to grind down on the long tail of issues, and that's what enabled us to launch the unsupervised service in Austin.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of robotaxi vehicles carrying paid customers, I think we're well over 500 at this point between the Bay Area and Austin.
There's varying amounts of like vehicles depending on the load, but yeah, you can have like more vehicles during like peak times and then like fewer vehicles in the off hours.
Yeah. But this will probably double every month type of thing. It's on an exponential curve.
I mean, one other thing people forget that, we've been deliberate on all this in the sense that we have the supporting infrastructure already been in place, whether it's service centers, charging. Yes, we'll have to augment as the fleet grows, depending upon the density of where the demand is and whatnot. But it's not something like we just stumbled upon it and we're starting to. We've been at it for years. Yes, not every city is designed the same way. Same thing, our infrastructure is also not the same in every city, but you have to give us credit that it's been a journey. And like Lars said, if there's some company which can do it, we've already been at it, so we should be able to deliver much better.
Evan, I think that's SpaceX, the satellite phone.
Great. The next question is about chase cars, which we already covered. So moving on to the last question. Elon, you've been spending significant personal time on Tesla's chip design.
Yeah.
What was the forcing function behind this increased involvement? And do you think external chip sales will represent a significant portion of Tesla's valuation by the end of the decade?
Well, I mean, I tend to spend time on whatever the most critical issue is for the company, and completing the AI5 chip design and having it be a great chip is arguably the number one most critical thing to get done, which is why I'm spending more time on that than currently anything else at Tesla. Spend pretty much every Saturday on this, and
Every Saturday.
and a chunk of every Tuesday. So it's like
He hustling.
if I'm spending my Saturdays on something, it's going to be something pretty important. I do think AI5 will be a very good chip. And I feel quite confident about the design at this point. And then AI6, which will follow that, it'll be aspirationally would follow that in under a year, will be yet another big leap beyond AI5. So I feel pretty good about our chip strategy right now. But in terms of selling it outside of Tesla, we first need to make sure we have enough chips for all of our vehicle production and all of our Optimus production, and then we will actually use the AI5 chips in our data centers. We already use the AI4 chips in our data centers. So when we do training, it's a combination of the AI4 chips and NVIDIA hardware primarily that we do training with. So, but you say by the end of the decade, I mean, That's like things are changing so fast that it's hard to imagine like what happens at the end of the decade.
Post-market bump is back.
We might. I mean, when I look ahead at say what's the limiting factor for Tesla growth, if you go say 3 or 4 years out, I think it actually is chip production. Is there enough AI logic and enough AI and enough memory, enough RAM for our volume, and right now I see that as being the thing that probably limits our growth in 3 or 4 years, which would imply that we're not selling chips outside of Tesla because we need them. In fact, I think I think it's going to make sense.
Meta's crushing it right now, by the way.
This is definitely going to be a sort of a controversial thing.
Just pick Tesla for the thumbnail.
I think Tesla needs to build a terafab. I mentioned this at the shareholder meeting, but even when we look at the output of the best case output of all of our key suppliers, and I'd say even they're beyond suppliers, they're like strategic partners like Samsung, TSMC, and Micron. And we say like, what's the most you could possibly make? Then it's not enough. So I think in order to
You heard that? That's a good.
remove the constraint, the probable constraint in 3 or 4 years, we're going to have to build a Tesla terafab, a very big fab that includes logic, memory, and packaging
Oh, maybe that's bad.
domestically. And that's actually also going to be very important to ensure that we are protected against any geopolitical risks. I think people may be underweighting some of the geopolitical risks that are going to be a major factor in a few years. So now, a lot of people will say that's crazy. Fabs are really hard. I'm like, yes, I know fabs are really hard. I don't think they're easy. But
We do hard things.
we do a lot of hard things. We didn't used to have car factories. We didn't used to have battery cell factories or lithium refineries or mega pack factories or all these other things. We figured it out. So I think it's. I think if we don't do the Tesla terafab, we're going to be limited by supplier output of chips, and I think maybe memory is an even bigger limiter than AI logic. So for example, we have
Hi, Garrett.
chip supply deals with TSMC in Arizona and Samsung in Texas, but currently there are no advanced memory fabs at scale in the United States. There are zero, literally zero.
People
Hopefully,
still can't get memory.
Micron will have something going in a few years because they're all headquartered in Idaho, where they make a lot of potato chips. We need to make computer chips too. Anyway, we're working with our strategic partners on the chip front, memory and logic. But I think we got to also try our hand at building a large scale fab that integrates logic, memory, and packaging. And if we don't do that, we're just going to be fundamentally limited by supply chain, especially if there's some if in a worst case geopolitical situation, it would be quite a severe situation. So I think it would be, quite frankly, it'd be crazy not to try the terafab. So yeah.
How do you feel about that, y'all?
Right.
We'll have a bigger announcement on this in the future.
You think memory's chalked?
Awesome. With that, we're going to move on to analyst questions.
Because if every single-
The first analyst is Emmanuel from Wolfe Research. Emmanuel, please feel free to unmute yourself.
Also, guys, listen out for a
Great,
name.
thank you so much.
Adam
It's Emmanuel
Jonas.
Rosner from Wolf
That was
Research.
my old boss.
My first question is on the capex. You signal a pretty large increase to over $20 billion for this year. Was hoping to better understand where the investments are going. Any way to dimension for us which of the product line or technologies account for the bulk of the increase? And also, do you view this as like
It's my old
one-time in
boss.
nature 2026, or I guess how much of this is an ongoing
He's a Michigan
level
guy,
of
too.
high spending for a number of years? And then just finally, still on that, with that level of spending, you're going to be burning cash. How should we think about your cash balance or any other way to finance this?
Yeah, so, Emmanuel, I tried to put this in my opening remarks too, but I'll try and go a little bit deeper. There's about 6 factories which we are starting production in this year. So there's a lot of capex, which is going into that. Then as we are trying to scale Optimus, we need a lot more compute. So we're putting more money towards compute as well. And then
For training.
for
essentially.
training.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to be spending money to expand the capacity at existing factories. On top of it, we're just keep in mind that none of these numbers which I shared of 20 billion factors in anything to do with the solar fab or the semiconductor chip fab. Those would be, as Elon mentioned, would come later on. And you think
Vote
your
on the
second
poll.
part of your question was,
Vote on the
is
poll, y'all.
this one-off or would we expect more? I think we're getting into this investment phase because we have.
This guy is so boring. But chat, vote in the poll. Are you guys a buyer or okay? We're not missing anything. There's just a capex question. They have 6 factories. They're going to be spending a bunch of capex. So yeah, no stuff, Sherlock. Chat, vote in the poll based on everything we've heard so far. Are you guys a buyer or seller of Tesla? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Thanks for the good comment, Garrett. I appreciate you, Mike. Let me know if you guys are a buyer or a seller of Tesla. All right. A lot going on. Their core business, auto sales, declining. Competitive EV market. They are discontinuing the S and the X lines and making those 100% allocated to Optimus Robot. And they're expected to do a lot on making their fully self-driving available. And they are considering building a bunch of in-house AI supply chain things like fabs and memory, right? So there is a lot going on with this. There is a lot going on. So vote in the chat. Are you a buyer or seller of Tesla? Let's get back to this guy.
Whether it's through
Gosh, he's still yapping
more
about
debt
capex.
or other means.
Get to the juicy stuff, bro. Come on, man.
Our next question comes from Andrew from Morgan Stanley.
What?
Andrew, please feel free to unmute yourself.
Who's Andrew?
Great. Thanks so much for taking the question. I just want to start on the DXAI investment that you guys announced today. You talked about there being some collaboration, between the companies. So I'm just hoping to get more information or if you're hoping that you could shed more light on what that looks like and maybe how the work XAI is doing can be leveraged at Tesla and vice versa.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at the disclosure, which we also put in there, we do talk about this.
Guys, this is very sad. This is very sad. I joined this because I wanted to hear Adam Jonas speak. And if anybody is like in the mix, you guys know that Adam Jonas is one of the greatest auto and tech Wall Street analysts at Morgan Stanley. He's covered this name for like 15, 20 years, right? And he's moved to an internal role. He's no longer doing the, dang it, y'all. And by the way, my very first job ever, I interned for Adam Jonas at Morgan Stanley. My first job ever in New York was working on this guy. I was on this team, the Autos and Shared Mobility team. And now, who the freak is this freaking Andrew guy? Who is Andrew?
and XAI literally fits into that.
We're
mold.
ending just
So
kidding.
that's why we went ahead with it.
And we just had like a lot of investors ask us to do this. There was like a lot of investor, the Tesla shareholders said like we should invest in XAI. So that's like we're just doing what shareholders like asked us to do pretty much. But Grok will be I think very helpful in say maximizing the efficiency of the management of a large autonomous fleet. So I mean, if you've got an autonomous fleet that's in the future 10 million vehicles or tens of millions of vehicles, then optimizing the efficient use of that fleet, Grok will be, I think, way better than any heuristic solution or sort of manually managed solution. And if you say you're managing, say, a large team of Optimus robots to build a factory or build a refinery, and say a rare hypothetical, this is a hypothetical example, a rare earth ore refinery, which we do desperately need in America. Then you say, well, what's going to organize the Optimus robots to build that ore refinery? That would you kind of need an orchestra conductor. And so then Grok would be kind of the orchestra conductor for the Optimus robots to build hypothetically and it might not be hypothetical in the future. I'm just saying it's not currently on our plans, but we do need a lot more ore refining capacity in the U.S. So then what's going to manage? Let's say 1,000 Optimus robots to do.
Chat. Elon, you're
You're
muted.
on mute right now, so I'm not sure if you're trying to ask a follow-up question.
You're muted, Elon.
Ready. We're going to move on to the next question, which is coming from Dan Levi at Barclays.
Tesla is
Dan, please feel free.
a little chalk. Microsoft is
Great, thank you.
They're also chalked.
Elon, you talked about some of the constraints on memory. Given the very tight supply, are there any near-term constraints on procuring memory? And if there are, to what extent could you look at modifying the functionality in the vehicle, similar to what you did in 21 when we saw shortages on MCUs? And maybe how are you thinking about bridging in the next few years?
Well, the Tesla AI is very compute efficient and very memory efficient. So I think one of the metrics one should consider for any given AI model is the intelligence per gigabyte, especially when you're constrained on RAM. Having an AI that has very high intelligence density per gigabyte. So you can say for a given number of gigabytes, how much functionality can you get out of it? I actually think Tesla is ahead of the rest of the world in intelligence density.
But we look at
AI
everything.
By
Chat Capital is
an order
industry
of
agnostic.
magnitude or more. This is going to sound like a pretty bold statement, but I kind of know what the intelligence efficiency of the big models are, like Grok, and like the honest and a bunch of the other models. And I Tesla's AI is like, in terms of its memory efficiency, I think more than an order of magnitude better. So that puts us in a pretty good position actually for scaling. And we actually do think that we do have a solution for logic and memory for, let's say, the next roughly 3 years. But if you start going beyond 3 years, and we look at the scaling plans and how many fabs are getting built, and especially if you factor in geopolitical uncertainty, there's always risk that maybe those chips don't arrive that people were expecting to arrive.
Okay, so we're gonna get. I don't know how much more I want to listen to this, but there is something that is really important happening today. And it's really important for our watch list for the stocks we were looking at. he just mentioned, and he keeps mentioning it, supply chain constraints for the AI build out that he's trying to do to make everything within his entire empire at Tesla AI enabled. The supply chain constraint is chips, memory, and the entire AI value chain. Microsoft came out with their earnings. They're not looking too good. They're also expressing clear AI capacity constraints, and this stuff is getting real. So it's really good for the supply chain players. So FYI, guys, like we're not like buyers or sellers of Tesla right now. It's too big of like a mega stock, but like diving deeper into the underlying supply chain, looking at fab, memory, assembly, photomask, optics, all that stuff is mission critical. And they're all saying the exact same thing. Tesla, Microsoft, we're going to check out to see what Meta's saying, but they're like, we just can't get enough of what we need. And that's really good for these stocks. And as you can see, Micron's eating that up. They didn't even release earnings today. Like they're benefiting from others commenting on their need of their products.
Long-term competitive advantages that keep Tesla ahead are, and how, based on what you've seen, will Optimus fundamentally differ from these
Okay, I like that.
Thank you.
Well, I do think that by far the biggest competition for humanoid robots will be from China. China is incredibly good at scaling manufacturing, actually quite good at AI, as you can see from the open source.
Hi, Chris.
Or not the open source, but the sort of, I guess some of them are open actually. But basically the models that China is distributing for free are actually quite good, and they keep getting better. So China is very good at AI, very good at manufacturing, and will definitely be the toughest competition for Tesla. To the best of our knowledge, we don't see any significant competitors.
Garrett, what does this business do? Microchip.
But China will definitely be tough competition. There's no two ways about it.
Are you pitching this to Jack Capital?
I always think like people sort of outside of China kind of underestimate China. China's an ass kicker next level.
Guys, remember when I was at CES?
I guess
I'll show you guys some Chinese robots.
We're going to build. We think Optimus will be much more capable than any robot that we are aware of under development in China. So we think we'll be ahead in terms of the real world intelligence.
Chat, you remember this?
The electromechanical
Chinese
dexterity,
robots,
especially the hand design, which is by far the hottest thing in the robot. In fact, I'd say there's really three hard things about humanoid robots. Building an incredible hand that has the same degrees of
Chinese
freedom
robots
and dexterity as a human hand is an incredibly difficult engineering challenge. Then there's the real-world AI and scaling production. Those are the three hardest problems by far for humanoid robots. Tesla is the only company.
In case the fans watching, this is an investment advice. This is life advice, and we're learning together what's happening in the world and the markets. And Chat Capital is not a registered investment fund. It is an educational tool. But Garrett, so Chat Capital is our amazing thing stream where all of the donations that go to the Streamlabs link in the description goes to Chat Capital, and we vote on stocks. So we actually have like a form that we fill out of like the thesis and everything. I'll show you actually of like the pitches. So if anyone wants to pitch a stock, it goes here. We actually have some new stocks to actually pitch. Wow. So we got to look at some of these, y'all. And it just dives through like a value-oriented investor. In my background, I'm Blackstone KKR trained. I'm focused on like true value investments. And this is a good forcing mechanism to ensure that folks are pitching and thinking about businesses the right way. So if anyone does have a pitch, put it in here and we will vote for allocating to Chat Capital. And as always, if it gets more than 50%, we actually purchase it, right? So majority wins for Chat Capital Investment Committee. I just put in the link, Edwin. And hope you guys are learning a lot too. Like it's fun to just like listen into these CEOs and like hear what they're talking about. A lot of it's boring. 90% of it's boring. But then that 10%, guys, gals, it gets exciting, you know.
I'm way more paranoid than that.
We get to hear
I always
Elon
think
Musk
of Andy
speak. Isn't that
Grove's
cool?
famous statement, "Only the paranoid survive."
That's facts.
You know, why did he come up with that statement at Intel? Let's think. So I think there's a lot of wisdom in that statement. So we're going to be paranoid and make sure that we can continue to build batteries and robots and AI chips no matter what happens. And companies that don't do that, a bunch of them will cease to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, remember, all this comes out of necessity.
This sounds interesting.
It's not that
Microchip.
we want to do it. It's just
Yeah.
we have no choice.
Yeah, I mean, we built the most advanced lithium refinery in the world, by the way. It's not just, like our lithium refinery in Corpus Christi is not just a copy of what others have done. It's,
Oh my
it's
goodness,
an
thank
entirely
you,
new
Garrett.
process that is fundamentally more
First
efficient and
one
more
you've
advanced
watched
than
in
anything else
years.
in the world.
Hopefully you're enjoying it,
The
man.
same is true of our
Our streams
cathode
get lit.
refinery here in Austin.
We learned so much. And join our
and,
Discord. Yeah, I'll put our Discord in the link too.
And we wish others would build this. Can other people please,
It's a bunch of finance
For the
and
love of
investing
God.
nerds.
help? The name of all that is holy. Can others please build this? Build this stuff.
It's not the first time you asked.
Exactly. I mean, this is not the first time you've said something like this.
Like, why do we have to build these things? Why can others not also please? Can someone else build these things? I mean, it's very hard to build these things. And we build them out of desperation, not because nobody else is building lithium refineries and cathode refineries.
You got to respect what they're doing.
We're pretty much not just the largest, but also the only lithium refinery and cathode refinery in
You just
America.
got to respect it.
So
He does hard things, really hard things every day.
yeah, so
That guy's a freaking beast.
we're making moves to make sure that no matter what happens,
I went to the gym
Tesla will
today, chat.
prosper.
Great.
Okay, Elon,
Unfortunately,
are you
that's all the
done?
time we have
Jesus
for Q&A
Christ.
today. We really appreciate everyone's questions, and we look forward to talking to you next quarter.
Okay,
Thank you
bye.
very much, and goodbye.
Bye, Elon. Great talking to you, man. I love you, bro.
Cool.
I'll see you at the next holiday party. Peace out, Twain. Chat, what's good? What the heck going on, y'all? Hey, chat, that was our very first. Wow, it is so bright in my house. Oh my gosh. It's so weird having all this light. Hey, I'm like a night owl, y'all. I'm like a night owl. I'm like a night owl. Wait, let's get my things back. How the heck we doing, chat? What's the latest and greatest? As you can see, we got stuff going on in the markets. You got Microsoft down 7% post earnings. You got what else we got going on? What else we got going on? We got freaking Meta. What happened with Meta? Meta's up 8% post earnings. All right. Strong ad performance. Good guidance. Despite heavy CapEx concerns. Y'all, while they out here complaining about heavy CapEx concerns, and mind you, heavy CapEx concerns. Y'all, where is that CapEx going? It's going to the AI value chain, y'all. And what's on Chat Capital's watch list? Huh? What's on Chat Capital's watch list? That's our AUM. We're not down a lot. It's just like we lost like a few pennies. It was a very flat day in the market. On our watch list, chat, our watch list, P-Lab, that's a photomask business. KLAC, it's another value chain business. SanDisk, memory company. ASTS, I think that's satellites. APH, I don't know what that does. Micron, memory. Royal Gold, that's like the extra gold thesis. And then United Healthcare here. So hopefully, Garrett, this answers your question that we don't just focus exclusively on tech. We look at everything. And the goal of this stream is that I want everyone in the entire world that tunes in to be as intelligent about diligence, pattern recognition, building a thesis on an investment as if they were a professionally trained long short equity hedge fund analyst at a Tiger Cub trained by like Julian Robertson or Coatue themselves, you know? So it kind of feels and simulates from an educational perspective, like what it's like to be in like the public market space. And we do it with like hypothetical portfolio. And I say hypothetical because legally we can't say it's an investment fund, but chat capital right there. And the premise is every dollar and cent that goes into chat capital, I never sell it. So it doesn't go to me. It goes directly into chat capital AUM, and you all get to vote and we get to learn together. And my objective is literally for this to reach $1 million. That'd be so cool to just show over like the 10, 20-year horizon how compounding magic works in the public markets and how you can like have a massive portfolio reach hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and hopefully encourages and incentivizes folks from all backgrounds, all education levels, all sectors, all geographies to make very sound, intelligent investment decisions. And as everyone knows, like we're not messing around looking at candlesticks and charts like that. We try to do some quantitative analysis, but not as good as Garrett. Garrett's like a real quant, I think. But we look at business fundamentals, right? Like we try to understand key unit economic drivers. We try to identify real moats within the business. And, that kind of stuff is important. So don't buy something just because you heard it at the barbershop or the salon, right? Don't buy something simply because the chart says it's like it dropped 40%. You want to buy the dip. Like understand fundamentally what's going on. And like us listening to that earnings call just gave us so much intel and information around like what the heck is happening in the world of, autonomous cars and little things like that, right? I think it's pretty darn dope, if you ask me. I think it's pretty darn dope. Chat, how's your day going, huh? How's your day going? My day is kind of just getting started. I went to I woke up, handled some deal stuff, some content stuff, and went to the gym, and then came back, turned on stream. This is our first like daytime stream, besides the CES stuff we did a few weeks ago. But put in the chat, W day or what? W day or L day? Hopefully everyone puts W day. But let me know how y'all day going. I want to hear what else y'all got going on in the world, man. I want to hear what else y'all got going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft. All right, Microsoft's taking a hit. Let's see, okay. Let's tell they go a little bit deeper on Microsoft. Let's go a little bit deeper on Microsoft. Oh, snap, you found a bin cleaning business? Edwin, congrats, bro. That's huge. Garrett W. Day, I love that. Garrett, you're currently building a bespoke end-to-end quant dashboard platform with multimodal stuff. Dude, that is sick. Okay, Garrett, I got a really big question to ask you. You can say no if you want to. Can you build us one of those algorithms that Renaissance Technology has? Can you build us one of those Renaissance Technologies Medallion Fund quant algorithms? It's got to exist, right? Can you send us the file, send us the link? Do you guys know what Medallion Fund is? Let me show you what a Medallion Fund is. This is Jim Simons is one of the most legendary hedge fund investors literally in the entire world. He's like a mathematical god, essentially, right? If you put $100 into the Medallion Fund in 1988, you just put $100. You didn't put any more money into it. You just put $100 into the Medallion Fund in 1988. Can someone take a guess what the returns would be? Take a wild guess what you think the returns would be. Jim Simons, one of the greatest hedge fund investors in the entire world. If you put $100 into the Medallion Fund in 1988 and you let this rock star rocket ship soar to the moon, you would have had $2 million. And that's only at 2018. This is old data. Just imagine it continuing to compound. Turning $100 into $2 million. Bro, someone give me that algorithm. Someone give me that algorithm. I need that, chat. I need that big time. I need that big time. Oh, snap. Hold on. Well, if I stick around here for long enough, maybe I'll throw you an enhanced due diligence report from that dashboard for whatever company you want. Oh, sick. Wait, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. Garrett, forgive me. I'm like I'm one of them old school private equity type guys, you know? So I don't know about a lot of this like technical stuff. What is a dashboard? What's like a quant dashboard? Let me see. Is it like this? Bro, I got no clue. And mind you, Garrett, the only math that I passed was I passed Calc 2 or Calc 1 in college. That's all I was required for the business school. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, this dashboard stuff. Hey, would you say multimodal? Quant dashboard for multimodal. Whoa. Oh, yours is gonna be like a Bloomberg terminal. Oh, sick, dude. Heck yeah! When you're done building that out, let me know. We'll show it. We'll show it on stream. There's like some quant stuff or quant people in here too. There's a lot of traders in here. I have waged war against the day traders. I keep telling folks that it's better to just simply put your money into an index fund, hold it forever. But I'm open to being corrected. But Chat Capital. That was cool. Let's dive into what we want to talk about now. Maybe I want to hear about Microsoft, right? Because Microsoft, here we go. So they beat consensus in profitability. Their cloud segment's crushing it. Okay. They spent more on CapEx. 15 million paid seats on Microsoft 365. But operating margin guidance for the quarter came light. So they said like going forward for this year is going to be like tight margins. All right. But bookings is just like really impressive. And we're keeping it a buck. Bookings has been like, this is so impressive. Microsoft is just like, Microsoft just has like an embedded mode of scale, brand equity, cash, and the ability to deploy like their AI and cloud products at scale. That is really impressive. That's really impressive. That's a thumbnail. I'm a seller. That's how we're trying to sell fear. That's all they're trying to do, y'all. During the quarter, Microsoft said it would raise prices on commercial office productivity software. Anthropic announced plans to buy $30 billion in cloud services from Microsoft. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right? How much longer are you going to be live, Kenny? I don't know. Shoot, I might be live literally all night. I might mess around and be live all the way until our current slot or like our usual slot is 6:30. And then, I don't know, man. There's a lot to learn out there in the world. Earnings is, it's like all hands on deck in public markets usually. Like earnings season, as you guys know, like this stuff happens all within the span of like a month. All these companies go public and there's a lot of data to churn through to figure out what's the move. But probably a few hours, Edwin. Probably a few hours. Handle your business, man. Handle your business. And if you miss anything, some of the most exciting highlights, that'll be on the Kenny Finance Live channel. Kenny Finance Live. All right. So Microsoft, let's hear about like the key needle moving bottlenecks in the business. What is the key short thesis here? Microsoft. Where are sellers most concerned? What's the patterns? Underlying data. Like I want to figure out like what's happening here for Microsoft. Shout out to Microsoft. Shout out to Google Finance, by the way. I can't wait to hear Google's earnings. Google's earnings is let me pull up the calendar. Google's earnings is February 3rd. So we got like 2 weeks. Google's earnings is February 3rd. That one's going to be really exciting. And disclaimer, in my personal portfolio, Google is my largest holding. So pray for me. Pray for me, boys and girls. Pray for me. Pray for me. All right. The bearish case and short thesis for Microsoft. All right. CapEx Inferno. This is the single greatest concern. Microsoft's CapEx have surged, hitting an unexpected $38 billion in the last quarter, far exceeding analyst expectations. Bears argue that this capital inferno is growing faster than Azure's revenue. Okay. Oh, wait, this is good. This is good intel here. Approximately 2/3 of the spending for CapEx is going on short-lived assets, GPUs and CPUs, that lose value as quickly as newer, more powerful technology is released, heightening depreciation risk. Dang. Like, they have to keep up. So they need to spend a bunch on CapEx to get the latest chips, the latest memory, etc. But like those manufacturers, NVIDIA, ASM, TSML, like all those are releasing new models literally every freaking 6 months. And it's just like the old ones that they're spending all this CapEx dollars on is starting to be like outdated, or, you know, like, because like the name of the game is these businesses are consumer facing. So they want to have the best in class, best performing enterprise grade models. And it's just like, you buy a GPU yesterday and then tomorrow there's one that's already better. And you got to spend some more CapEx. So it's kind of like the narrative for these kind of businesses is like, how much more is this going to continue to exist? Where it's just like burn money on AI components. Right? Right? AI, quantum, and nuclear energy for that tech expenditure are hitting Microsoft's budgets hard. I completely agree. Garrett, I completely agree, dude. I completely agree. And they're spending a lot on quantum too. Fun fact, we learned about quantum last week, and now I'm a quantum expert. I'm a quantum expert. Y'all better hide your Bitcoin keys for me. I'm a quantum guy now. All right, Azure growth and critical this growth rate has been slowing down. The slowdown, however, okay, key patterns. Increasing short interest, dependence on NVIDIA. Heavy spending on NVIDIA chips. This reliance on a third party adds supply chain risk. Let's see how NVIDIA is doing post market. Okay, not really moved. Legacy headwinds, underlying fundamental patterns show continued pressure in legacy areas. Okay, all right, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now let's pivot to Facebook. Oh wait. First, where's all the CapEx going? Pinpoint, build me a table of the key CapEx spend details by type and vendor and over time. We're going to start finding some more niche opportunities here, y'all. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we're cooking up. All right. They allocated $89 billion in 2025 alone to build out its AI infrastructure and data centers. Okay. Data reveals that the majority of the CapEx is concentrated in data center infrastructure, specifically servers and AI chips. I haven't spent that much time in like the server world. So we got to figure out what's happening with the servers, y'all. All right. So buying servers that include the GPUs, that's important. Networking, Cisco, storage, and then indirect AI capacity. Dang. CoreWeave has crazy customer concentration with Microsoft. That's insane. That is insane. Give me more niche. Well, I guess they're the type of business that's not really buying like NVIDIA's buying those little like optics and photonics and things like that. Not Microsoft, right? So I assume that they wouldn't have that crazy of like a niche CapEx detail. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's now go to. Let's pivot to Meta. Give me a detailed memo on the earnings, similar to what we did for Tesla. Continue to go on the thesis, on the narrative, key insights, patterns, etc. Yeah, I completely agree. I'm net bullish on Intel. I think yesterday or whenever we did the earnings one, it unlocked an incredible opportunity, incredible opportunity actually. I think it unlocked a really attractive opportunity for Intel, right? Because it's just like it has all of the workings of a dominant US based manufacturer in fab. But the issue is like they're slow. Like they're too slow. Like it's like they just can't keep up with like how fast overseas manufacturers are. But like these geopolitical pressures, it's like it's not going to stop. You know, it's not going to stop. All right, let's see how Meta did. So Meta up 9% after hours, signaling strong investor acceptance of management's core narrative. The current AI-driven advertising momentum. AI-driven advertise? Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so like AI helping to inform better return on ad spend metrics for the marketing teams. Okay, that makes sense. I thought they were talking like AI ads. The key insight is be convinced in the era of infrastructure where massive capex is necessary investment for future dominance, temporarily outweighing concerns about margin pressure and ongoing losses in its Reality Labs division. Your efficiency is order replaced by all push for AI leadership. Okay. Now. They beat on revenue. They beat on EPS. Ad growth impressions. Crushed it by a lot. Like that kind of spread, that's good. That's probably why the stock is up. Like that kind of like data. Major AI acceleration during the call, framing the company's strategy as building personal superintelligence. They expect CapEx to be $115 to $135 billion, nearly double the 2020. They're doubling CapEx on AI infrastructure. AI, everyone's investing in AI infrastructure. It's insane. Monetization is working. Already enhancing the core ad business. This is wearable AI traction. Oh, are you guys buying those Ray-Ban glasses? I thought about that. Ryan Trahan did a video the other day, or like a few months ago, on wearing those type of glasses for like 24 hours. And I was like, that would be a really cool thing to do. Just like buy those and wear those. I want to try it with that or the Apple Vision Pros. I'm pretty sure Apple's going to discontinue the Vision Pros. It just doesn't make sense for them. I think Apple's got to double down and just cell phones and computers. Like their AI product sucks, I heard. I haven't used it, but folks aren't happy. All right, let's see what's going on with the underlying business. User engagement. Daily active people reached 3.6 billion users. And that's a 7% increase year over year, showing the platform continues to attract and maintain a massive global audience despite competition from TikTok. Isn't that crazy? Just to think about. The fact that Meta has 3.6 billion daily active users. Isn't that wild? It's just like absolutely insane. Gary says Meta is really leading the market in wearables, and that segment would continue for years. Yeah, I agree. And it's good quality products too. Like their Ray-Bans look nice. They don't need to have all these cords around you. It's usable. It's like connected to all your stuff. I heard it's really cool. But like from a content creator perspective, like this number is massive. 3.6 billion people. I gotta dump all my content on Facebook, yo. I gotta dump all my content on Facebook. Well, I guess this includes Instagram, right? So it includes Instagram. Shout out to everybody that engages with my funny Instagram stuff. So thank you for watching my stories and liking my reels and stuff. Thank you guys. We've been growing like crazy on Instagram. You know, so much content gets produced from the glasses, which feeds into their family of apps site, which create the perfect. Yeah, Yeah. Have you guys seen like those TikToks where it's just like the first POV, first person point of view? It is all meta glasses, and it just goes from like the meta glasses, and then like the export and upload functionality is like pretty seamless. Like it's like overall pretty seamless to where like you can record stuff. You gotta it flashes that light for privacy purposes, so like people know when you're recording. But it records stuff, and then you can like export it and put it as like a draft, I guess, in like your Instagram, Facebook apps. And then it's like clean. You can add captions, and then next thing you know it, like you can just like rip content just by living everyday life, moving around. What if tell Mark to add the functionality to embed OBS into the Ray-Bans meta glasses. That'd be so freaking cool. And then y'all will see me streaming through these. It'll be like this, y'all. We be looking like this, but instead it'll be meta glasses. All right, and y'all gonna see what I see. A day in the life of a private equity holdco shred lord. I guess I gotta stop saying private equity because we're not private equity anymore. We're really holding company because we're doing public and private stuff now. To be very honest, we're doing public and private stuff. Guys, really big news today. Really big news today. I don't want to jinx it, but y'all my fam, so I'm gonna update y'all. Tentatively, the SBA and all the legal folks were like, next Friday, if everything goes according to plan, which it never does, but they're like, next Friday, we actually could have a closing for the deal. So Debbie's in the chat for that. We could have the deal closing next Friday. I don't know if I'll stream it. I don't think the seller wants to be on stream. But I'll stream it like right after. So it's like a really good productive next few days and quick sprint to get to closing. But I guess I gotta stop saying, oh, I'm like the private equity guy. I'm really just a holdco guy. I'm just really just a holdco guy. It's where it's like being very realistic. If I look at like the portfolio for Dreamline, like my holding company, because guys, if I don't know if I told you all the thesis, but the thesis is Dreamline Holdings is my holdco. We own private businesses that are recession resilient, enduring, that just generate crazy free cash flow yield. The free cash flow from those private businesses will measure the return on invested capital to see, or return on equity to see whether or not it's worth reinvesting in the business, like hiring more techs or engineers, etc. If it's not worth it, we're going to allocate to our public portfolio and then just like try to find some amazing long-term holds. You know what I'm saying? And ideally it's kind of like a Berkshire Hathaway model. It's where you have like 100% of private businesses, but then you also have this amazing public bucket to benefit from like amazing dislocations in the market, great long-term blue chip businesses with strong moats, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the vision to rock with stuff like that. So, and all that stuff's kicking off in real time very fast. Hi, Duvid. How you doing, man? How's New York City? Is it warming up or what? How's New York? Hopefully it's warming up, man. And for all my cats out there in Texas, hopefully y'all doing well and the cold kind of like is over with, at least for now. Ultimately, it's a company of data collection and info. Yeah, 100%. Bro, it's like so much data. So much data. So much of my data's out there. It's just like, it's like a massive, insane type of thing, y'all. The Reality Labs drag. What is the Reality Labs? Is that their... What is the Reality Labs? Meta Reality Labs. Is that their metaverse? Reality Labs. $6 billion loss. Reality Labs. This has to be the it's their AR stuff, right? Yeah, this stuff just doesn't work. I don't know why they keep trying to do that. This stuff just doesn't work. Like, and do you guys even want that? Like, that's a really big question. Do you guys even like want that kind of thing? To where it's like you're walking around with a headset all day, like a big one, not the glasses. The glasses are chill. The glasses is literally just a camera on your face. That's literally it is. It's a camera on your glasses. That's what it is. And then like a screen. But like fully immersive metaverse style augmented reality. Like the internet is depressing enough, you know? Like the internet's kind of like depressing enough. Like, do I want to be stuck in the metaverse? No. I want to get outside, touch some grass, go to the beach, yo. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to go to the beach, chat. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's I'm not that bullish on just the theme of VR and AR. You know? I have a friend who he's the founder of a VR company for surgeons, and he sells a VR software and headset product that goes to surgeons to help them train of how to do procedures better. And it's an okay business. I'm just thinking, like, I don't want no surgeon about to go on my brain that practice on video games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want some people that know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying, chat? I want somebody that know what they're doing, you know? And this VR, AR stuff is just like we're gonna look back at this 20 years from now and be like, dang, Kenny, you were a gup on that. You know, that's all cap. Like, you know, you're totally wrong on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather have Garrett's stepsis work on my head. That's a real human. I don't want nobody out here. If I'm sitting on a dang hospital bed and I got people coming up to me. Well, no. First and foremost, if I'm sitting in a hospital bed and the doctor and the surgeon pulls up with some meta glasses, I'm unplugging that right now. And I'll be like, you know what? I don't even want the surgery. God got me. Give me some scissors. I'll do this stuff myself. Just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? Bro, I want to be outside. Like, dude, you saying it right, man. Can't let the tool replace the goal. You know what I'm saying? I want to be outside. I want to be having fun. I want to connect with real people. You know? And chat. That's the only exception. That's the only exception. But I don't think she was wearing AR glasses at YoMed. Thank God. All right. She's qualified. Tell her, hit up my primary doctor, and that's going to be my go-to surgeon for life. All right? Because I got trust. I got trust in Garrett's family. Why? Because Garrett's a genius. Garrett's a quant. And his stepsis went to Yale to study medicine. So he comes from a lineage of he comes from a lineage and or stepsis. So like he has a family of geniuses. I trust your judgment, Garrett. Tell you with the same respect to money. Yeah, that's the same respect to money too, guys. It's just like, don't ever let money, wealth, or all that other jazz like confuse the fact that the most important thing is healthy mind, healthy body, healthy relationships with people, and a life full of adventure. All right? There's a bunch of other things I'm missing, but those are the things that come to mind. Money is simply a tool, right? Money is simply a tool. It is simply designed for you to unlock time, mental, emotional, and financial freedom, right? But even if you don't have it, there's still ways to live a really good, fulfilled life, right? But there's a lot of folks, especially out there in finance. And in this niche, I know there's some hardcore finance bros and girls out there, but it's like, don't let the job, the paycheck, the bonus, anything get in the way from like having a healthy, abundant life of purpose and happiness and joy. Like that stuff is like really important, y'all. I know a lot of people out there that work in finance that make millions and they're miserable. They make millions and they're miserable. They spend more time with their analysts tweaking IC decks than with their kids, right? They spend more time in Delta Sky lounges than seeing their parents. You know what I'm saying? I used to be one of those miserable guys. Bro, I used to fly 3 times a week all across the U.S. Nonstop. Boom, 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 boom. Hotel to hotel. Management meeting. Board meeting. Travel. Site visit. You know what I'm saying? Granted, I loved it, and I had no responsibility, so I had nothing else to allocate my time to. But you know, it's cool, but it doesn't stop sometimes, y'all. Everybody on chat knows that watch me from the get-go. My goal is simply to make enough where I can afford a smooth little crib in Tokyo or Japan or somewhere. You know, nice little 1-bedroom apartment, a little cheap. Vacations all over the world. Me and my fam to collect memory dividends. You know what memory dividends are? Memory dividends is so you know how like when you buy stock. Wait, this is actually really cool. This is really actually a really cool thing. I don't know a lot of folks know about this, right? But like a memory dividend is just like how a stock, when you have a dividend in a stock, you get paid financial benefits over time. A memory dividend is the exact same thing, to where you invest your time into an experience that unlocks a memory dividend, to where over the course of your lifetime, every time you revisit and think of it, it gives you positivity, euphoric feelings, and just happy memories. So I would rather invest as much time as I can into those experiences, adventures, conversations, and people that unlock incredible memory dividends than a Birkin bag that pays no dividends financially or memory-wise, or a new Tesla, right? Or anything like that. Like invest into things that generate an incredible memory dividend. Like that's like my target focus for like my entire life now, is I want to collect as many memory dividends as possible. Right? Like I want to make sure when I'm like 90, I have the most banger stories to tell. Right? Like when I'm 90, I want to be like that cool old person in the nursing homes. I want to be like the dopest old man in the local nursing home, because I just have like the coolest freaking stories of all time. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like I was in the ocean with a floaty with dolphins, and I didn't even know how to swim, but I did it because I wanted to just get outside my comfort zone. You know? True story, by the way. Right? Or like I freaking solo trip to Japan by myself and had ramen or something like that. I don't know. I did do that, but you know, it was a more elaborate trip than that. But little things like that, you know, I want to have as many memory dividends as possible. Like that's what life is truly about. And then Duva, you're really right on the generational wealth point, man. Like generational wealth is key, bro. It's like, and there's ways to do it without not having a life, right? Like, if you all want the easiest playbook to generate significant generational wealth, like I'll give you this playbook right now. This is the easiest way to generate generational wealth. Work hard at your job. Spend less than you earned. Find ways to get supplemental income. All of your savings and extra income, you put it into an index fund, S&P 500, every single paycheck for the rest of your life. And by the time you reach your older age, you pass it down to your kids. You don't sell it and pass it down. You pass it down and you get to use the step-up basis, so that over time, the compounding works, and you guys look at the math, over time, your compounded returns get to be passed down to your kids tax-free using the step-up basis, and then they inherit that entire portfolio. Boom, new starting point. And the next thing you know it, they keep it in an index fund. All of their income and savings and side hustles goes into that as well. And you don't have to be doing what I'm doing of like monitoring all these public stocks and earnings and putting patterns together. That's cool because I love it. It's a video game to me. But like if I weren't in finance, if I didn't love this sport, bro, I'd be like playing video games. Or I'd be like watching anime. I'd be like going to the gym or something. Like actually having fun while my money's just growing in index funds. So like while this stuff is really cool and it's really fun for me to learn, I'm obsessed with the intellectual journey of this. Right? It's way better to just like put that stuff on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? Like just literally put it on autopilot. You want generational wealth? It's very easy. Spend less than you earned, find supplemental income. Every dollar you make and you save, put it into an index fund. Every single paycheck, literally for the rest of your life. Never sell it. Then pass it down to your kids, tax-free using the step-up basis. And they rinse and repeat. And then next thing you know it, over 2 to 3 generations of discipline and focus, y'all about to be billionaires. All right? Y'all about to be billionaires. It's as easy as that, literally. Literally as easy as that. Without a good experience, you can't have good stories. You need good stories if you want to have friends. That's facts. I like to think I have funny stories sometimes. Like the story. Okay, so I told you about the Adam Jonas guy, right? Let's do story time. I told you guys about the Adam Jonas guy, right? Literally one of the coolest cats in the entire world. Like, he was like the first person that wait, I lied. It wasn't my first job, it was my second job. Because the first job I was in sales and trading. The second job I was in equity research. Yeah. That was it. First job, sales and trading. Second job, equity research. My sophomore year. Yep. So this is the guy. But my first year in New York, hey y'all, I was so broke. Let me show you y'all where I stayed. All right. I'll show you guys exactly where I stayed. I was in 14th Street and 3rd. I stayed in this NYU dorm, y'all. I stayed in this NYU dorm. My very first summer in New York. And it was right here. It's called Coral Towers. Yep. Coral Towers. And right under was Dwayne Reed. It was me and my homeboy Dowie. It was us. Here's the entrance right here. That's the entrance for the NYU dorms. Coral Towers, NYU. This place is so dang expensive. This used to be a 5-napkin burger joint until they got gentrified. JK, it's been gentrified. But what I used to eat every single day, because in internships, for some reason, I don't know why they do this, they don't pay you your paycheck until like 30 to 45 days into your internship. So I had to gather all this money from family to get to New York that freshman summer. And then I literally had like $30 US dollars to my name in cash. Like I didn't even have a debit or credit card. I was still 17 at the time. And I had like $30 in cash to my name, and I had to like ration it literally over like that time horizon. So I would stay into the office strategically to get free food, right? I wasn't even working on that much stuff. I was just literally there for Seamless and free food. But then when I needed to buy food, I came to this pizza joint. I don't know if it's still here, but I went to this pizza joint right over here near the apartment. Is it? Where's the pizza joint? Dang. Did it evolve? Did it leave? There's a pizza joint somewhere over here, y'all. Dang, that's how you know I'm... Oh, right here. Yep. Hey, right here. I went to this pizza joint right here, y'all. Move, truck. You can't see it, but this pizza joint right here. This 99-cent pizza. Hey, Juan, how you doing? This 99-cent pizza. I would eat it every day that I didn't eat at the office. I didn't buy at McDonald's. I didn't definitely buy the expensive restaurant food. I ate 99-cent pizzas for an entire summer. For an entire summer. I survived, y'all. I had friends that were like, oh, we're going to Union Square. We're going to Webster Hall. We're going out. Boom, boom. I'm like, I can't afford it. You want me to pay a $20 entrance fee? That's 20 meals. That's literally 20 meals. Why would I pay $20 for an entrance fee when I can barely afford pepperoni? Mind you, pepperoni was $2. I'm sitting here eating cheese, pizza. I had so many carbs that summer. That's crazy work. Dang, I miss New York. Then city bikes start to come up. Hey, but y'all want to see the glow up though? I'll show y'all a little bit of a glow up. Y'all want to see a glow up? Yo, you should have a community. I already do. They're called the Shred Lords. Thanks, Karim. All my guys and gals. I got one. It's we got a Discord and everything. So here's the glow up though, y'all. I ain't trying to flex. I'm just trying to show y'all straight facts of what happens when you trust Jesus and you work hard. I used to live in this little thing here, rinky dink joint. And then the last place that I lived when I was in New York was Kent Ave. Where is that at? Yeah, let's go over here. Yeah, it's over here. Then I went to the high rise, y'all. Hey, I went from the project to the high rise, y'all. What they talking about? You know what I'm saying? That's my old crib, y'all. There's a water view. There's the water right here. You see the whole skyline. And this joint is booming. This joint is booming. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful building. Paid way too much. I think I paid like $5,000 a month for a 1-bedroom. I didn't know anything about budgeting, mind you. But we started from the NYU dorms, and we just worked hard. We worked hard. Shout out to the jobs I had. I had amazing teams and everything. Such a good life. What y'all doing, chat? What y'all got going on in the mix, man? So earnings was a vibe. I gotta check out this microchip one that Garrett sent us. And Micron continues to rip post earnings. What a bagger. Tops estimate, but wraps up first annual revenue drop on the record. And it's fine. They're trying to sell fear. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Ain't about a word. Ain't about a word. Yeah, the stock. This was gonna be like a flat one. There's no like real movement in Tesla. I just really picked Tesla for the thumbnail. That's the best one that had the coolest thumbnail. I'm entering segment data for 2,330 different companies. Bro, can't AI do that? AI should definitely be able to help you with that. You know what I'm saying? AI should definitely be able to help you with that. Meta's been like a relatively sleepy stock over the last year, right? Virtually flat. Year to date, flat. But like this move here, it could be a reversal in the name. It could be a reversal into the name. I think you might see some folks go crazy. What other earnings are coming out? Guys, what other earnings is coming out, huh? There's oh wait, let me get my music going. Hold on, let me get my music going. My little background tunes. My little background tunes. Where's the my little background tunes? Don't worry, YouTube. It's not copyrighted. It's copyright free tunes just to catch the vibes. Just daytime vibes. That's all it is. Just a little daytime vibes for the Shred Lords. All right, so Microsoft missed. Meta crushed it. Tesla flat. ASML. Wait, hold on. That's a really important name. I just totally forgot. ASML. They're another supply chain partner. Oh, okay. It was down 2% and then up there today. What do they do? What are they building? Supplying this semiconductor industry. Let's see what we can get from the ASML report, right? Let's see what we can get from the ASML report, y'all. The data is derived from revenue and asset reports, which is hard to scrape, and I'm not paying for the API to use it. What if you use like NAN? Is NAN, I heard, is like a good scraper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we want to see. All right, instead of doing that, let's go to Google Finance. Let's go to research. All right. Now dive into the ASML earnings print from today. Give me key insights on fundamental drivers of financial performance, updates on supply chain constraints, choke points, customer demand, and giving me second and third level insights into what's shaping the narrative for AI supply chain focus this year. Thank you guys for smashing that like button. I appreciate y'all. ASML is an important name. Like it's we're now starting to enter the season of like the supply chain partners also reporting earnings. So it's really good for us to just stay locked in on that, y'all. It's really good for us to stay locked in on that, chat. Staying locked in on that, chat. All right. AI fuel demand. Okay, so they do the lithography machines. Remember when we found this? I think we put it to our watch list, right? Did we put it on our watch list? Oh, we didn't. Oh, let's add it now. ASML. I thought we had it on our watch list. Anybody know about ASML? Okay. The stock reacted positively to record net orders bookings of 13 billion. Oh, they're European? Okay. Far exceeding expectation, but paired gains later in the day as analysts raised concerns about execution risk and capacity to meet the unprecedented demand. Yeah. Oh, wait. So with the Greenland stuff, that's impacting ASML? I didn't know about that. Okay, wait. That's a whole different setup. Wait, what did you guys say on Tesla, by the way? What did y'all say on Tesla? Oh, dang. You guys are net sellers on Tesla. You guys are net sellers on Tesla. Sheesh. Hey, W's for everybody tuning in on stream. I think this is the most vote we ever received on the name, so I appreciate that. The key narrative. Okay, so for everybody that doesn't know, for everyone that does not know, this business ASML, they produce EUV lithography systems. These are super big machines that are used to help create key functions on microchips. That is so confusing. Hold on. AI, explain what EUV lithography machines are in plain English. Bro, plain English. As if I'm a 5th grader. Nah, not that. I don't want AI thinking I'm stupid. I don't want them to use their memory thinking that I'm stupid and all that. All right? Hey, I got to where I'm at out of hustle, not intelligence. I'll tell you all that. All right, look. Okay, so EUV lithography machine is the world's most advanced stencil printer for microchips. It's the only machine capable of printing the microscopic patterns required for the newest chips that is used in phones, servers, and GPUs. And then this is why I was super excited about it. There's only one company in the entire world, ASML, in the Netherlands, that can manufacture them. And these machines cost $200 to $400 million each. It's crazy. As I'm using this, as I'm reading this, Garrett's providing comments on this as well. You're such a genius, Garrett. Oh my goodness. What up, Marie, for all the way from Kenya in 3 a.m. Thank you for checking out the Shred Lords. I told you guys I was going to get some earlier streams. I thank you for tuning in super late your time. While it is nice, you don't have to stay up that late, man. You don't have to stay up that late. Subscribe to the Kenny Finance live channel, and you're going to, like, if you ever miss some stuff that we do on live, the good parts are going to be posted on that channel. So, like, those segments will be posted on that. And if you see in the Discord, I put a little recap in the Discord, guys, of literally everything that we've been learning. And this is kind of like, OMG, I'm so proud of us post. But look at this, y'all. This is everything we've learned on the on stream so far. We dived into U.S. healthcare insurance stocks yesterday and Geospace Aerospace, GE's aerospace and power business. We learned about quantum computing. We learned about the gold rally and found the interesting, attractive niche of the royalty and streams segment. We talked about the AI value chain and all this stuff. This is what we're looking at now. We learned about Vietnam's role in the supply chain semis. Nice. Oh, and by the way, it's a different channel. If you guys don't know, so it's like the Kenny Finance main channel. That's where we stream, and then the Kenny Finance live channel where we have the VODs and stuff. So it's Kenny Finance Live. We did vibe coding. We did a business model update of Linus Tech Tips. We heard about Davos. We went to CES. We invested $1,000. Yo, chat, we did literally all that in 3 weeks. And I said we did more intellectually in 3 weeks than people do in an entire year. Chat, we're so freaking locked, y'all. We're so locked. And I love this just community of shredlords in here. Y'all really some beasts. We really out here just be hustling, pitching ideas, pitching stocks, looking at names, sharing ideas, sharing businesses. We really out here getting it, y'all. We really out here getting it. All right, back to learning. So this machine costs $300 million and it does the stencils that are required for these microchips for AI. Right? All right. So it's all right. I'm gonna try to have these a lot earlier. It's hard for me to have it at literally hold on, why is there an ad playing? I'm gonna try to have these a lot earlier. So it's I usually have these at 6:30, and I know it's like ungodly hours for folks that are like in Europe, Africa, and Asia. So, but this business is the only one that's producing this. They kind of have a monopoly, and they released earnings, but let's see what's happening here. So after they released earnings, it went well, but analysts raised concerns about execution risk and capacity to meet the unprecedented demand. So that's key. Unprecedented demand, that's obvious. That's key. But can they hit that? That's tough. Because if a business does not meet the demand, customers are going to churn somewhere else. That's just a matter of fact, right? Like, you guys got to understand that. Like, if a business cannot satisfy the crazy demand, customers aren't just going to wait for you. They're going to churn to someone else that can meet that demand, right? Or they're going to start developing it in the house. And what do we hear from Tesla? We hear from Tesla that like their need for like the AI supply chain stuff is like quite difficult. It's literally quite difficult to rely on third-party partners that also have geopolitical risks, like Garrett mentioned. So they're considering building it in-house. And if there's anyone that can build it in-house, Tesla can definitely do that. Tesla can definitely do that. You feel me? Kareem, you say, I'm trying to help my dad build cash flow so he can feel comfortable and quit his job. Yeah, I love that. That's a good, you're a good son. If you're a boy. Sorry. Sorry if you're a girl, but I think you're a boy. But you're a good son if you're thinking that. He's running 2 Airbnbs right now, but it's really taking his time with stupid tasks. He has around $200,000. Any advice? I think, okay, good. Shred Lords, City Boys. All right. What I would do, oh, your dad's in Germany. Oh, nice. Okay. You should have your dad spend $5 an hour for like 10 hours on a virtual assistant overseas. Check out places like Philippines, India, etc. There are a lot of talented folks that specialize in remote property management, at least for the boring admin task. Granted, your father will likely need to still go like visit the properties and ensure that things are good and clean. But I would urge and recommend that like you try to get your dad value creation tools and resources. That could be like a team overseas to manage some of the admin stuff, the accounting stuff. Try to hire property management teams that are doing like the cleaning and the maintenance. I would try to get that to outsource it, right? Like if your dad wants to chill, have him simply just focus on finding properties, acquiring them, financing it, and then beyond that, outsource all that other stuff. Granted, his margins are going to compress a little bit, but it could unlock capacity to find more properties. Like that's a scalable business model. If you're out here buying Airbnbs literally by yourself, finding tenants yourself, cleaning up after they leave, handling all the bookkeeping and accounting yourself, that's not a scalable business model. That's a recipe for burnout. You know, Like there's a lot of talented folks out there. In W, Germany. Deutschland ist sehr gut. Did I say that right? Garrett, did I say that right? Did I say it right? Hopefully I said it right. Sam McClear, how you doing, Shred Lord? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well and hope you have an incredible day, Sam. How long have you been researching and investing in the markets? My entire life. I bought my first stock at 14 years old. Yeah. I used my sister's social security number. I stole it from her and opened an account on TD Ameritrade. This is years ago, like a lot of years ago. And ever since then, I've been obsessed with investing in markets. But professionally, I've been working in private equity for about 10 years. I just started my own holding company last year. And Dreamline focuses on both buying boring private businesses, like what Kareem is mentioning. Not Airbnbs. We buy like traditional lower middle market businesses, like industrial services, utility services, like vegetation management, like things that have high margin and cash flow. And for other stuff, like the publics, we invest that into like amazing, good, solid names. And this chat capital that you guys are seeing below, this is the community educational portfolio. So all donations that we receive and super chats that we receive go to Chat Capital. And if you want to contribute to Chat Capital, use that Streamlabs link below. But because YouTube super chat takes a bunch of a cut, so Streamlabs doesn't take any cut. But all that money goes into Chat Capital, and it's educational purposes to show folks how to find stocks, diligence them, invest, and I promise to never sell whatever you have in Chat Capital. So we are literally going to invest this together, and everything that you all pitch, we have to vote on it as a stream, as a community. And if majority wins, we allocate to that name, right? So it's literally like we're running a educational oriented investment resource, right? My lawyer said I got to be really careful about what I say on here about that stuff. He's like such a being a dick. All right. But anyway, I called it, oh, this is like literally like a little online streaming hedge fund. But then they were like, you can't say that. And I'm like, F off, mate. All right. We're out here making moves. But it's cool because it's like everything that we allocate to. Like here's our watch list. All of our watch lists here. Here's our portfolio right now. Our portfolio we just put into an index fund, right? We put into an index fund. But all of the watch lists here. Here's everything that people pitched so far, right? Here's all the pitches that happened so far. We had Boogie, our top dog. He pitched EchoStar. We had someone pitch Ondas. Someone pitched Coupang, Caterpillar. The two notable ones, chat did not like it. And as we can see, we're missing out on some returns. But we're learning. We're learning together. And we're learning how to find businesses like in a true Warren Buffett style value-oriented way, right? Like I'm going to show you guys like how we do like real diligence on this. So this one here, ASML, seems like a defensible moat. They're one of the main providers of this lithography machines, which is essential for these next gen chips. So it sounds like there's a moat there. But let's figure out like what the narrative is. AI workloads require denser, more power efficient chips, which translate directly into chip makers needing more layers of extreme ultraviolet lithography. That's a good thesis, right? And it has a near monopoly moat. You know what I'm saying? Kareem, I'm going to get back to you. I just intellectually, I'm like locked in right now on this AI thing. So I just want to like get this pitch or get this learnings and see if it's a good business or not. But I'll get right back to you, all right? I promise. Okay, so this is what they released. So they said that they did $33 billion of total sales, and that's 16% growth year over year. The margin profile stayed relatively, this is like comparing to the quarter. We need to see year over year improvements, right? Retail, how we doing, Mike? Yeah, I completely agree, Garrett. Value investing, yeah, facts. Bookings grew 48%. All right. EUV dominance. EUV system sales were the main driver of growth, 39% year over year in 2025. And it accounted for over 60% of fourth quarter bookings. Installed base expansion. The installed base management business, services and upgrades. Oh, so once okay, this is really cool. It kind of reminds us of GE. Remember how we talked about yesterday with GE? They have a lot. Like their main motto is to sell new engines at cost to get into the brands and customers like Delta or United or all these other airline companies. Sell their engines to the airline customers, right? That's the new sale. But then once it's there, you don't make your margin on that. You make your margin on the service revenue, servicing, maintenance, repair, which you require like annual servicing contracts and inspections and all that. So that's where the margin is. And it seems as if this business has almost a very similar play, right? To where you can have like the installed base of the EUV lithography systems and a lot of these like chip companies, but they all require some type of like servicing. But I think the narrative right now is still focused on the EUV system sales, like getting as many of these systems out as they can. So I think folks are still hyper focused on getting those EUV system sales. But over time, as maybe sales decline, their installed base like maintenance revenue and upgrade revenue should theoretically improve as well. But I think right now, folks are just obsessed around like, can you build more systems and send it out? Right? You guys with me, chat? You guys with me? What are your thoughts on security companies that are publicly traded? I think AI gets more sophisticated. Yeah. So there's a few things. I think there's going to be attractive cyber businesses that are out there. And then also like governance out there. So I think like there's going to be a huge need for like AI governance tools and resources, especially at like enterprise level companies. And I think it's like a really good play. And it's a good at both a public and private business. Do you have one in mind though that we could take a look at? Tell me which one that is top of mind for you though, in terms of like security business. Chat, we out here learning about stocks. I love this. All right. So, supply chain constraints, choke points. Okay, so despite the record orders, the earnings call highlighted several supply chain. So they're having themselves. This is funny. I say this all the time, but like chase the choke points. If you want to be like a short-term-ish oriented value investor, not a trader, investor, right? AI, everybody wants AI, right? Just follow the choke points. Everybody wants AI. In order to have AI, you need chips. In order to have chips, you need to have memory. You need to have fabs. You need to have EUV lithography systems. And in order to have any of those, they have their own supply chain as well. So like, it's just a choke point on a choke point on a choke point on a choke point. Like that's all where public equity hedge fund investors are focused on right now. Where are the choke points? Like actually put it down in the comments down below. What do you guys think? And put it in chat. Like, what do you guys think are like the most niche, random choke point that has strong free cash flow margins, a good defensible moat? Put it in the chat. Let me know. Because this business here was like the best choke point of like last year. The Microns, SanDisks of the world, that was the best choke point like earlier last year and then the year before, right? But like put in the chat, like what do you think are like the other really good choke points? Like we should build a map one day of just like going down each boom, 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 boom until we can find like that single component that is in incredibly high demand that folks aren't spending enough attention to. All right, so the primary variable affecting 2026 guidance is not their ability to build machines, but rather customer readiness to take the tools. So fabs must complete clean room construction and facility preparation on time to install this complex equipment. Huh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's interesting. Organizational complexity. That a rapid growth has created internal complexity, slowing agility and decision-making. They announced a significant restructuring and 1,700 job cuts to adjust the friction. Okay. Geopolitical normalization. Sales to China are expected to normalize and fall from 29% to 20% due to export restrictions and backlog clearings. All right. Okay, all right, that makes sense. But this is what I love. Let's get a little bit deeper. Gustavo, what's up, champ? How we doing? Wait, that's a really good insight. Personally, the talent would be the choke point. It is. But low key, if you want to play the talent segment, like there's ways to play the talent segment in the AI choke point. Like you can very much look at utility service tech businesses, service companies. You can look at transmission distribution, like journeyman and lineman schools, to figure out like how they're pumping out electrician and specialized grid, data center, and utility services licensed techs. Like there's ways to do it. I think the talent play is that's on the services side. I think that's going to be on the services side. The one or two sectors that I'm most knowledgeable on. Number one is grid resilience. I covered that thesis for KKR. I would also say, I think I'm pretty knowledgeable in this AI value chain now. But that's just from like a public market perspective. On the private side, tech software, like I covered that theme. Education services, grid resilience, vegetation management, engineering services. That's what I would say. Gustavo, hold on. You said, yeah, I'm definitely not investing around this talent choke point theory I have, but it's more important to look at. Yeah. Be rare. You think Tesla's going to zero? Why do you think it's going to zero? We're about to have humanoid robots. One of the like, look, if we know anything about Tesla, y'all, like if we know anything about Tesla, they have the ability to do very hard things. Right? It's crazy thinking they're going to zero because, like, Tesla, as we know, has a track record of doing incredibly hard things. And where Tesla's focus right now is getting their humanoid robots, Optimus, out there in production, fully self-driving cars. And you know they're stopping all production of the S and the X lines and making that entire facility allocated towards humanoid robots. So like in the short term, nothing really is happening. But in the long term, they're positioning themselves to potentially be first mover advantage and at scale for the humanoid robot thesis. And if you all seen the movies, those things are taking over. Whether you like it socially or not, those things could be taken over. But I will say, whoever's manufacturing those darn things, crazy cash. Crazy play. Y'all letting a robot in your house? Let me know. Y'all letting a robot in your house? Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you like the Tesla narrative. I'm just out here learning, guys, and just reiterating everything that I'm learning. FTNT and PNNW. All right, we're going to look at those next. The RoboCab still doesn't work. Yeah. He said the robot will be ready in 2045 if we're lucky. Elon said himself, bro, that they're going to be like in facilities and homes at the end of this year. I really want a robot. It could do a lot around here. Y'all don't see it on my camera, but these dishes, laundry, right? Vacuuming, I can use that. I just cleaned up literally this little spot behind me, y'all. Oh, Gustavo, you bought when he said that? That was cool. That's a good, I don't, you know, it's just gonna take a minute, right? The biggest thing is like you're investing on faith. Like if you truly believe that in 10 years, we're going to have robots all over the place and fully self-driving cars, this is the most positioned business in the entire world to dominate that sector and that entire change of technology. And what's crazy is he's done it before. That's what blows my mind. It's like, we're not like, you're banking on faith that he can execute. But what folks aren't understanding is that man has a track record. He is literally him when it comes to doing the unthinkable, doing the impossible, y'all. This man is sending ships and spaceships and rockets in his free time, right? He's building satellites for global connectivity on Saturdays. He's building cars that are going to be fully autonomous on Wednesdays. And now he's got one of his entire factories dedicated towards humanoid robots for him to spend his Fridays, right? And he's building his own AI chips, trying to make his own memory chips. The man is locked. And he's got a track record. And I think he's more optimistic and locked than ever. I can see it. Well, I don't know. He's got a lot of involvement in the political world now. I think that's a huge distraction. That's the one thing that I can't stand that he got involved in is the politics. And this is not a political channel, so I don't care about your guys' political views. All right. We're all happy, loving people here, of people of all backgrounds and communities. So I love literally everyone. But I will say this. This whole Elon being involved in the government, it's such a distraction, bro. Bro, do what you do best. And that's like building the unthinkable. Don't get involved with the annoying, dumb politics. I think politics is so dumb. It's such a distraction, you know? So now that he's like out of that stuff and locked in, he's about to build something crazy. He's about to build something crazy, y'all. You agree with me? Yes or no? What do you think? What do y'all think? Y'all agree? Oh, Garrett says insurance technology, I feel like is underrated. 100%. Especially insurance has a good AI value prop with like AI underwriting. Oh, fun fact. Wait, fun fact. So you guys know I'm trying to close this deal next week, right? Did you guys know in order to close a deal with SBA, you have to have life insurance? Did you know that they tried to misquote me today on life insurance? Like I had that wrote down as like I was annoyed today because of that. And I was like, I got to remind stream. They looked at my medical records and they tried to misprice me on life insurance by doubling the original quote because of melanoma or whatever the cancer term is. I had Gemini look up like everything about my medical records. I just uploaded it. Granted, privacy and all that. I'm chalked. I don't care. I'm AI enabled. Gemini found that was literally mentioned in a question of a survey. Isn't that crazy? So this human underwriter was reading my medical records and said I had melanoma. But when AI read it, and I reread it myself, it was literally just mentioned in a screening question. It said, does your family have history of the following? Boom, boom, melanoma, boom, boom. My response was no to none of that. So this human underwriter literally tried to double my quote because they couldn't read. Let me be nice. Sorry, I sound really mean. I didn't mean that. They're probably having a busy day, right? But don't mess around with me like that. That's crazy, isn't it? Isn't that wild? So like, yeah, Garrett, the insurance industry like is very applicable, bro. We need that ASAP. We need that ASAP. Because the fact that there's human underwriters is just annoying. The only thing that needs to be human in the insurance space is a ethical layer. That's it. We just need an ethical person that can review the AI data and output to make sure that it's equitable and fair. That's the only thing that matters. That's literally the only thing that matters. But the fact that they tried to double my quote of life insurance just to get this deal closed, all because they thought I had melanoma, when it was literally just mentioned in the friggin' screening question. That's out of this world, right, chat? Isn't that crazy? That's absolutely insane. Anyway, how y'all doing? Y'all having a good day? You guys having fun? If anyone's wondering what we have on screen right here, this is like one of the new exciting theses we're working on right now. ASML. They do the only provider based in Europe of EUV lithography systems, which is used to develop the micro stencils and the AI chips. And they have a monopoly on it. And they just released earnings today. There's a lot of data for us to go through. We already talked about Tesla, right? And Tesla is Tesla might be a vibe, right? The big news coming out of Tesla. If you want to understand like what happened in Tesla in 5 seconds. Auto sales are down because there's a competitive market and the EV market is getting a lot more competitive with BYD. They're shifting their entire production of the S and the X lines. They're turning that off and turning that entire factory to be Optimus humanoid robots. So that's that. And then what else did I miss? They're just doing a bunch of CapEx to build out capacity to build. You know? Yeah, Elon does always say next year, end of the year. He always does say that. He literally always does say that. Retail, I totally agree that skilled manual labor is like a choke point. I think blue collar jobs, like that's if you guys are like on the private equity side of things, right? That's where you need to be spending your time and focus. Is like finding these blue collar service businesses, training, vocational training businesses, having a lock on talent. So like not only buying these businesses, but having an exciting culture to convince talent to go to you, right? That's what's key. That is what's key. You don't believe that the taxis are gonna be like driving off to pick you up and bring you back? That's kind of what well, yeah, Elon thinks is gonna be like a ride sharing thing where I'm just gonna start letting my Tesla go, make me some money. I don't, maybe. It makes sense though, because like a car's utility is like 5-10%. If you guys think about that. Like think about how much time across 24 hours your car is actually used on the road. Not a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like the utility of cars is actually like incredibly low. It's just used to go to work from work, to grocery store from store, to gym from gym. Like if you're me, there's like 23 hours out of the day where it's not used. So if you have a Tesla, it makes sense to unlock earnings potential, right? Tesla won't be the EV winner. Sam, you think Tesla? Who's gonna beat him? Tesla won't be the EV winner. You think BYD? You think someone overseas or U.S. company? Yeah, B-Rack, I completely agree with you. Their car sales are like ridiculously down. Ridiculously down. Well, one, because it's just like the tax credits for EVs is just like so low or like gone. Crosby, how you doing, legend? I don't know if I have a price target. 'Cause I don't own the name. And Chat Capital isn't invested into Tesla. So we don't have any we don't have any specific price targets on this one. So the reason why I tuned into Tesla was to understand their CapEx plans within the AI value chain. Right. Like listening in on Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla can give you indications around like where AI should be headed for the year. And it's the same narrative, choke points of supply chain constraints. And that's why we're on this tab here to like dive deeper into supply chain. Like Tesla's buying NVIDIA chips. NVIDIA is buying this company, ASML's lithology systems. So you see the flow of events. So if the end of the solution or end of the chain is saying like I need more of this stuff, it's just going to increase more and more demand and pricing power for some of these, and whoever can fulfill that, they crush it. Ooh, I should check that out. That's a really good one, Garrett. I should check that out. LMND, rental insurance, which is automatically added to leases through technology portals. A lot of PE-owned enterprises. Hey, Boogie, what up, twin? L Underwriter. Yeah, that was so annoying. That pissed me off. I literally had AI be like, draft me a email refuting this quote. Man, I wish I had that Google Finance version outside the US. I love this thing. This thing is such a beast. This thing is such a beast, right? It gives me like the fundamental, and what I do is the way how I use it is I use it to do exactly what a hedge fund analyst would do. A hedge fund analyst is going to download the PDFs of all the latest earnings reports and transcripts and find all of the patterns within that data to pinpoint what is going to inform their model going forward. We're doing literally the exact same thing. AI does it just in 5 minutes instead of 3 months. Isn't that sick? Chat Capital is an AI tech-enabled solution. Who's Jerry Rig Everything? Oh wait, I heard of Jerry Rig Everything. He's like the big like tech like builder YouTuber, right? Just like building like the crafty guy. I don't know about like a lot of these folks coming out there like saying they're not going to support Elon and Tesla as much. I don't know. I think folks are just going to start to realize that it's just like it's who cares who owns the company? It's just a very superior product to a lot of other vehicles out there. I think it just like makes sense to own one. You know? And like that's one person, but like you gotta think about the broader country or like community. My thoughts on AI being used in robots being used in HVAC. I don't think robots are going to be doing HVAC. I think the only thing that AI is going to be using right now is likely like logistics for HVAC companies. Like if I own an HVAC business, the first thing I'm doing after I acquire is literally AI enabled CRM and logistics to figure out like sending texts out, scheduling, route optimization, monitoring of the AI system or monitoring of the HVAC systems. Because there's all this data that you can get from your HVAC systems, because those are now tech enabled, that the legacy HVAC service companies don't even do anything with. So you could be doing preventative maintenance. You could be like giving updates to your customers and charging on that. Like there's so many cool ways you can do just to update the logistics and preventative monitoring and maintenance of HVAC tools. That's where I think the most relevant AI thesis is for HVAC. Yeah, a full shutdown, a legit full shutdown button on robots. Yeah, I need one like Lily. I need a shutdown button on a robot on the left cheek, to where if the robot talks back to me and says something crazy, boom, right in the jaw, boom, and that shuts it down. You know, that's what I need. I need one of those things where I can just like rock that AI Optimus's jaw if it tries to talk crazy. You know what I'm saying? Also to note about the LMDB comment, that company would be sponsoring Tesla's robotaxis or insuring. Oh, nice. Tell them to sponsor the channel. You think Tesla's going to be the all-around winner, but Waymo and Alvaride would definitely have someone? Yeah. Waymo's good. Waymo's really good. They're building a lot of trust, especially in like the more tech-enabled cities like SF and New York and Florida and all that. Not really Florida, but definitely New York and SF. And LA. Like out here in SoCal, I see a lot more of them up there in LA. Yep. Garrett thinks Waymo's going to be the pioneer that gets slaughtered. Dang, that's such a dark view. They had some bad sentiment with aggressive customer pricing, so Tesla has to be reliable. Yeah, and I think Tesla has a very good familiar. Like Tesla's very open to just like launch something that's dirt cheap and burn money and raise more money to keep doing it until it gets to scale. Like Tesla's okay with that. Tesla's down to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, y'all. I agree with everyone's sentiment around like how Tesla's moving, but I don't think they're gonna go to zero. If anything, I think it's just gonna be a flat year again. And then like once we start seeing pickup, I think they're gonna go nuts. LRCX. Wait, as you guys are putting stocks in here, if anyone wants to actually pitch an official stock, you know we have a pitch form for our thing. It's like a value-oriented business that you have to pitch, right? So we're not pitching trades or anything of that. Like it's like, here's the pitch that goes into Chat Capital. If anyone wants to like actually pitch something to potentially go to Chat Capital. LRCX been writing, they control the testing and verification process for chips. Ooh, I like that. They verify with Lam before they send chip design to be printed with the help of ASML. Ooh, wait, Sam, I like this. Whoa, okay, Sam. Wait, Sam, actually, if you don't mind, put it in here, pitch it here, so we can formally log it, because this is really good. This is really good. Wait, guys, let's wrap up our thesis on ASML. So, install base expansion, inspection growth. Okay. So I assume that this is in partnership with the LRCX business. Supply constraints and choke points. All right, here we go. Readiness, complexity. We talked about that. Now, AI changes and changes the physics of chip making. AI is driving demand not just for more chips, but for the fundamentally different chips that require more complex manufacturing steps. EUV layers and DRAM. This is important because memory is the craziest piece of the value chain right now. And if you don't know, look at SanDisk stock over the last year. You're welcome. But memory like SK Hynix are transitioning from multi-pattern DUVs to single expose EUVs for more layers in their next-gen memory nodes, right? This increases the lithography intensity per wafer, creating a durable demand shock for ASML's most advanced equipment that is largely independent of the generational crypto. Okay, good. Now, the high moat. The company recognized revenue and achieved customer acceptance for its first high in a next-gen EUV system with Intel. Ooh, they're with Intel. Okay. This validates the long-term roadmap and confirms that the wave of innovation is moving from R&D to commercial deployment. All right. Stock's volatile reaction today highlights core attention. The market fully believes that the long-term AGI narrative that sustains ASML's high valuation. However, the immediate reaction of management flagging customer capacity constraints suggests a market highly attuned to any execution speed bumps. This is really important. This is really important. If there is anything that highlights customers being any shape, form, or way sensitive, to purchasing this EUV equipment, you see this stuff literally collapse. Let's see what ASML did over the last year. Or we can go to this on Google Finance. It's right. A little volatile today. Over the last year, 108%. 5 years? 160? Yeah, it's really just 108%. I think that's a really cool defensible thesis, though. It seems like really like they're crushing it in terms of like expectations. It's just like it's just super sensitive to like the customer capacity. So I think the near term growth is still going to be like this only name in town, right? And it's like everyone gets that. But just got to figure out what else. All right, what else? Let's look at another one. You said LRCX. Lam Research. That's the market cap on this. 300 billion. Oh my, sweet Atlanta Santa. Wow. This is a ripper. Sam, this is a beauty. Are we too late to this play though? Oh wow, VRT. Wait, boys. Add it to the disc. Add it to the thing so we can save these. I'm gonna manually add this to the watch list. These are crazy. ASML, VRT. I like that thesis. The data center cooling. It competes with Cool IT. If you guys remember, we remember when on stream when we were at CES, we like went to like data center cooling booths and asked them about like what's happening, and they were just like, yeah, there's like insane amounts of demand. We're still overwhelmed. And dude, it's up 27% in the last month. This is crazy. Positive sentiment. So they do related services. So they provide wafer equipment as well. Front-end wafer processing, which includes the steps that create the active components, semiconductor, and their wiring. Builds equipment for back-end wafer packaging and related manufacturing markets. Gotcha. They're in Fremont. Nice. Okay. This is a good name. This is a good find. You're just finding stuff based on my niche? Are you doing your quantitative sourcing and tracking for it? Right? How are you finding these? Wait, no, this is the one that you mentioned. This is Sam's. Sam, this is a bagger. Add to the chat capital watch this. I like that. But I wonder where it fits within everything. Let's understand what they do. I wonder if they have like an investor presentation we can read. Guys, you got to understand, I can literally do this all day, every day. I can literally do this like all friggin' day, y'all. Oh, did they release earnings today? Is it 28th? Yeah, they had earnings come out today. This is where we should have been listening. How did they move today? Yep, up 5% post close. Wow. Okay. Global leader in wafer equipment. World's best employees. for employers. Business review and industry overlook. You're learning a lot? I'm learning a lot too. That's why I love these things. We just be learning. We just be learning together, y'all. That's how we roll in chat. We just be out here learning. We just be out here learning. Little shred lords. I don't like this song. Boom. Well, people obsessed with Tesla, they should have been reading this. Wait, Sam, how'd you find this? I'm so curious. Sam been in since April. W Sam. I wonder how you guys, like, how do you guys typically find names? I would love, oh, W Live? Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me, man. I'm just really appreciative. I'm literally just putting a camera on, doing the exact same stuff I would have done earlier. Just scanning these stocks, reading these things, putting together patterns, and just nerding out about businesses and supply chains and attractive investment opportunities. But I'm still on the hunt. There is something that exists that is undervalued, overlooked, and critical to this entire thing that no one's found yet. It's got to be something. I know it's out there. SanDisk ripped 1,000% last year. I need to find a 1,000 bagger. You know, I'm itching for it. I'm fiending for it. Oh, chat, let me get my camera on. Or my light. We really out here doing daytime streams, y'all. We usually... Oh, that looks so much better. We usually be out here at 6:30 PT, y'all. But... All right, so this one here. Look at this. You know what's an incredible, like, diligence thing to do? Like, just imagine if we, like, went on stream and just visited a fab. And just, like, visited a foundry where they produce these chips. And just ask them about every single piece of equipment. That's real diligence. Like, we should ask for a site visit and walk through literally every single equipment and be like, oh, what's this? Who'd you buy from? How hard is it to get? What'd you pay? What'd you pay last year? Like, that's investing. That's diligence right there. Be like, oh, that's cool. How much was that? You know? Like, I'm paid to ask questions. Walking around in a big facility.
Yeah, we thought so. That's why.
Walking around a huge facility. Being like, oh, that's really cool. Little things like that. Ooh, hold on. BDC. Garrett, I literally have the... Whoa, this is a super micro Belden. Mission critical signal transmission. High grade Ethernet cables for industrial enterprise data infrastructure. Huh. Let's see what they're talking about. Hold on. Garrett, you might have found something. And I like the fact that the stock hasn't moved in a year. My question is if there's any commentary going out signaling that, like, they see a huge uptick in AI demand. The only issue, though, is that commentary would have came from their latest earnings report. And the earnings was last week. And it hasn't said anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have happened here. Stock hasn't moved. You know? So it's either it's just like it's not happening right now, or oh, wait, never mind. False alarm. They haven't done it yet. They're going to talk about it on Thursday, February 12th. Ooh. But let's see if there's anything here that's about press releases. To see if there's any press releases that are relevant to... Because if they have press releases that are relevant to a bunch of, like, oh, we just announced this partnership or expansion with this data center or this AI thing, that's good. Because usually they release those press releases of, like, good news throughout the quarter. and they'll just recap that in the earnings call. But the investors aren't focused on these like daily, weekly press releases. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Alex Hine, how you doing, champ? Cybercab will have a wheel. Facts. Hey, what y'all think about my thumbnail? Y'all like my thumbnail? W thumbnail? It's kind of cool. Be honest though. Be honest, because I need to because we have streams every day, y'all, and I need to be like have a scalable format. So I think I'm gonna start using that as like the format for the thumbnails though. All right, let's see. We need press releases, news. Sam, you were late to NVIDIA? Don't worry. I was too, a little bit. Okay, so the latest. Here we go. You see this? Here's a good example, y'all. Boom, case in point. This right here. Oh, you can't even click it. But the title says, Belden helps shape the future of quantum technologies by, boom, collaborating with someone. Their link doesn't work. I don't know why. So they got to fix this. But that's an announcement right there. New product releases their industrial access point. Seems like a security thing. It seems like they do a lot of everything, Garrett. They seem like they're doing a lot of everything. Yeah. And it doesn't seem like there's like crazy recent news on it. You know? So, through this collaboration, I think they're focused on quantum. I don't think they're focused on as much as data centers and AI. Products, solutions, industries. Yeah, they're in a little bit of everything. So if it is data centers, it's probably a small slither of the business. I don't think it's a huge thing in the business. You know? It could be. We'll see. We'll see. Let's just stay let's just stay really close to this one. Let's just remind ourselves that a key event for this one. What is this? Is this BDC? A key event for this one. Don't be scared. All right. What is it called? Earnings on Feb 12. See if they increase data center AI exposure. That's key, right? And that helps. Verify the chips and all right, hold on. Maybe it sort of has like 8 Ethernet cables plugged in it, so there's definitely demand. Yeah, that's facts. Sam says, start with an emerging and or hot name. Look for who they have contracts with. Try to determine where the bulk of the excitement comes from. I was late to NVIDIA, so who did they work with? Yep, that's facts. That's how we roll. We're just finding the choke points. Finding the choke points, y'all. We're just finding the choke points. Alex, are you bullish or bearish on Tesla? Let me know. Love to hear your thoughts. Do you like the Cybercab? I've never been in a Cybercab, and I've never seen one. Have y'all seen one before? Is it even out to the world? Is it? I don't even know. Is it even out to the world? NVIDIA Revy ramps up. Who do they spend money with? Why do they ramp up chips? Yeah. Hey, I like how you're thinking. I like how you're thinking. Okay, wait. Let's look at VRT. VRT seems interesting. All right, so I like this. This here. They just printed, so they did well. Year to date, up 40%. This is crazy. Year to date, up 40%. Sam, do you think this play is done? Do you think this play is like over with? Let me know what you think on just like this play. I just don't want to be sitting with the bag of just like the run is over with. Wait, actually, if you guys look at our vote, if you all haven't voted yet on whether we should be buying Tesla or like you're a buyer or seller of Tesla, make sure you guys vote in the polls down below and smash that like button, y'all. But like what's the next catalyst for this? You know? Like what's gonna turn this into a $600 billion company instead of a $300 billion company? Like, is this the year for that, or is it like muted growth? Because like these businesses are great, but we got to talk about entry points now. You know what I'm saying? Like we could be entering like just a really tough entry point, I think, yo. This could be a really tough entry point for this. Right? And Sam, you also brought up a really good point. You can do the exact same chain of thinking where they generate their revenue, where they're spending their CapEx across each piece of that value chain and just build literally a map. I think someone's done it before. We just got to read that and see all the different logos and stuff. But let's check out VRT. Oh, Vertiv? I heard of them. Strategic partnerships. What is Vertiv doing? Infrastructure services. They're huge though, right? I think they're like a... Oh, not that huge. $74 billion. Mm-hmm. But Vertiv also does like services. Not just Vertiv, yeah. Here we go. They provide critical power, power supplies, storage systems, liquid cooling, heat rejections, racks, enclosures. Okay. Chilled water solutions. Let's see what's happening here. Let's go to this. It's so cool that you can literally just like read and learn as much as you want about this stuff. Announces new predictive maintenance services for modern data centers and AI factories. Nice. All right, the date for their earnings is going to be February 11th. It's going to be a big week that week, February 11th. February 11th. We got to add that to the calendar. I don't think we're going to listen in on it. We just got to see it before. Right. But I want to see, like, they don't have anything else. Let's see what their last thing was. Their last report was presentations, third quarter results. Let's see from October. Third quarter adjusted earnings up 63% from year before, primarily by operating income, asset sales, growth in America, in Asia, Europe sales are down, book-to-bill ratio of 1.4x. They're raising their guidance for free cash flow to $1.5 billion. Up 38% from the year. Okay. Raising full year EPS. All right, good. Oh, this is what we get here. This is what we got to see. This is the important stuff here, y'all. Hey, we locking in. We locking in, chat. Customer demand. Trailing 12-month organic orders grew 21% versus the same period last year. Last third quarter orders were up 60% from the okay. Strong backlog. Robust global orders. Pricing continues to be favorable. 2025 pricing expected to exceed 2025 inflation. All right. All right. Expected AI infrastructure deployment. I love that name. It's like coherent or something like that. They compete with the business that we have here on our tracker down below. I don't know if you guys see like down below our ticker, our stock tape. One of them is LITE. That's my baby. I'm a shareholder. LITE. I love that. Those do photonics. How'd you find that one though? I'm curious. We had to do a lot of work to find light. But whatever you're doing to find COHR, try to find even deeper ones, right? Try to find even deeper ones. You know what I'm saying? All right. Tariff situation. Okay, so this one's heavily exposed to tariffs. Execution of countermeasures. Optimizing their supply chain and footprint. Global manufacturing. All right, that makes sense. All right, boom, 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 boom. They are enabling, boom. liquid cooling, higher voltages. Mm-hmm. They have engineers. Boom. So everything's going up and to the right for this business. All product lines. Everything just sounds good. Everything literally just sounds good. Oh, so you're just going through each business one by one, adding them in. That's crazy. When you're done with that list, if there's anything that's in the AI value or anything that just like looks compelling from your like quant tracker, add it to our watch list or send it to me so I can take a look at it. We don't gatekeep around here. Everybody get rich. Everybody eats. I'm trying to make sure everybody gets bread. I'm trying to make sure everybody's making smart money moves, all right? So if there's alpha, we all want to win. All right, here, 2026. Global growth in data center market is projected to continue. Solid orders. Staying ahead of customer needs. We get that. We get that. We get that. All right. Tariffs remain fluid. Operating leverage. This one seems like it's still like a kind of like a solid. Still seems solid, right? It's one of those things where it's just like a dang, this thing fell 50%. What happened here? Oh, that was the tariff discussion. So this thing's heavily sensitive to tariffs. You know what I'm saying? I think this here was kind of like another tariff discussion. Same thing with this tariff announcements. So as long as tariffs don't actually happen in their key markets, should be okay. Should be okay. Another one that I like is this. MTZ. It's a, they do construction services and build outs for this. Right? Construction services and build outs. That's like the human labor of it, y'all. All right, all right. We're just out here finding names. Make me a map. Make me a list that is incredibly comprehensive of the niche AI supply chain partners who are critical and required for the AI boom, and rank them based on choke point severity, pricing power, and operating business attractiveness. Strong moat and free cash flow generation. Let's see what they got. Let's see what they got, y'all. It's not stop beating around the bush. I want a big thing. Data center build out tied to, it's a race to AGI. Facts. LRCX, that's what you say? Let's see. Boom. You think 280? All right. Oh, you joined the Discord? Yeah, okay. If you guys haven't joined the Discord, make sure y'all put the Discord in there. I'm learning more on how to research with everyone for real. Hey, that's fact. That's literally the point of this stream, is that everyone learns together, because there's like so many different dynamic shred lords in here, and it's like everyone's a beast at something. So we all just add our own inputs and ideas and learning so that everybody eats. That's the goal. And it's actually working out. That thesis is playing out. That's my thesis, is that everybody learns. I love that. LRCX might be a play. I like that. How'd you come up with the 280 though? Is it a certain like amount of like units? Do you have like a DCF? Someone asked me about a DCF, but a DCF is a solid model to build. But you don't like, I'm not the type to have the craziest complex models. The models can't pinpoint a terrible business. You should be able to tell based on the surface if they have a clear moat, strong customer relationships, pricing power, limited competition, you know? And all models in reality are wrong eventually. But just kind of give you a little bit of guidance and structuring support. All right, here we go. Here's the choke points that AI ranks for AI. They like ASML. They like TSM and their advanced nodes. They like memory. They like NVIDIA, the high bandwidth memory, networking and custom silicon, utility companies. All right, this is okay, but not niche and deep enough. I need crazy deep diligence on the supply chain and companies like Light, COHR, PLab. Like, go deeper here. You're a semis. Nah, I'm just gonna tell you go deeper here. This is the greatest analyst I've ever worked with. Sorry, Thomas. Thomas was my analyst at KKR. He was a beast too. But this right here, AI's like deep, you know? Okay. AI starting to hallucinate. Now give me another table of the different ranked choke points now that you're familiar with deep ideas like COHR and PLab. Get creative and think critically around who has a right to win across different pieces of the value chain. Don't limit yourself to just photomask and optics. Expand to the entire value chain and think small cap quality, free cash flowing names. Rank them. Hey, I'm telling my analysts roll up them sleeves and get to work, y'all. I'm telling my analysts roll up them sleeves and get to work. All right? All right. Now what they got? Oh, geez. I think my AI is broken. It gave me the same list. ASML, TSM. Oh, hold on. They gave me a Japanese name. PLab, Lumentum, Coherent, Applied Materials. All right, I like this. These are all names I'm very familiar with. Oh, hold on. Wait, Sam. Sam, we found another one that's similar to it. Air Test Systems. Wafer level testing and burn-in. Specialized testing equipment for silicon carbide and processors. Strong advantage in wafer level testing, reducing footprint. Microcap with strong momentum and design wins in high growth markets. All right. ACM Research. ACM Research, okay. Wafer cleaning equipment. Provides essential cleaning tools for chip makers. We just out here finding the narrative. All right. These are so niche. These are so niche. ACMR. This one's probably tiny. $3 billion market cap. Up 230%. Wafer cleaning equipment. We gotta be careful, but it looks fun. We got that. ACMR. I'll add that to the watch list. ACMR. Yeah. Let's see. Not narrative. Not this. Not this. You guys having fun with this? Hopefully you guys having fun. I'm just sitting here learning, finding really cool businesses. All right. We believe the market is moving towards ACM as AI and global data center investments are demanding new innovative technologies requiring next-gen semiconductor equipment. We are seeing broad interest in our proprietary horizontal plating technology for panel-level packaging, with plans to deliver our first system in the fourth quarter. Oh, that's a key catalyst. If they can report that they're putting out this system incredibly well and customers are adopting, oh, double up. Double up. Total shipments in the third quarter were 261. Okay. Shanghai completed its public offering. Oh, it's a messy capital structure though. It's like a dual listed business though. We gotta be careful with that. It's a US listed Chinese business. It's cool, but like there's a lot of like geopolitical stuff you gotta be careful too. I'm not as interested anymore. Nothing against China. It's just that supply chains like that can get really tricky. AEHR. What the talking about? This one, super small, $900 million market cap business. Ain't nobody heard of this. Up 150% the last year. Last 5 years, 1,000%. Dang, son, where'd you find this? Gemini. Gemini. This is like a tiny name that no one knows. This is crazy. Ooh, Kalik. AEHR. AEHR. And then what's Kalik? Oh, you say they are a top semi-assembly equipment maker specializing in high-precision bonding, dispensing, and packaging solutions used in chip assembly, where soldering and micro interconnects are critical. KLIC. KLIC. Okay. $3 billion market cap. All right. Nice little small cap. Year to date, it's up 28%. Only 36% over the last year. I wonder what happened. What happened in 2024? And then what happened in 2025? Do you know anything? Oh, wait. We can just ask AI, right? They're releasing earnings on Wednesday. Oh, wait, hold on. They just released earnings, right? Hold on. Investor relations. Let's check it out. K-Lake. You found it with AI? We're using AI to find AI companies. Let's ride. This is so freaking cool. Earnings presentation. Oh, wait. No, this is old. November 2025. We need the latest. Give me the latest. Yeah, this old stuff, y'all. Hold on. IR homepage. News. Oh, it's scheduled. Oh, the Singapore base, but it's scheduled for February 5th. Okay. K-Lake. We gotta be we gotta like be we gotta be inside, like invested in some of these things. Like the best ones before. And like this week and next week, I'm gonna show you guys how to do some real diligence. Like we're gonna cold call like some supply chain partners. We're just gonna ask them, hey, are you using Calyx stuff? If so, like, what's your expectations of how much more you're gonna use? Little things like that. Like I wanna really get some intel on this. I wanna really get some intel on this chat. All right. Like I think there's a lot to learn here. There's so much to learn here, y'all. But back to our table. So ACM does wafer cleaning. Air does testing and burn-in. Kalik. Wait, bro. Garrett, you took it from my list, bro. You plagiarized. Kalik, you took my list, bro. Garrett out here copying my names. I had it first. My AI came up with this idea first, bro. Mine was number 10 already. I just read it. Y'all here taking my ideas. Hey, Matt. I did a really big thing today. I invested today into AMAT. Just disclosing. My bad, I'm only half watching. Well, thank you for watching, by the way, too. I appreciate you tuning in. Momentum, we like. P-Lab, I like P-Lab. P-Lab sounds freaking cool. And then the memory play, you gotta be really careful with that. It's just like, it's just very sensitive. This here, who can help me find anybody Japanese in the chat? Anybody Japanese can buy this for us? Because I don't think you can purchase this name normally. I think you have to. Yeah, where are they based? They're based in Japan, right? Yeah, Japanese. I'm gonna make sure I wasn't being rude. But they have a monopoly on the resin material used in most high-end chip servers and substrates. Stable essential material supplier to top substrate manufacturers. A hard material to replicate. You can't like not use them. And like the stock hasn't moved. Maybe it's just like it hasn't reached that point yet. But they're so diversified and they're huge that they sell to other stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So who's in here from Kenya? You still up? I just thought about that. Go to bed. Thank you so much for watching, but go to bed if you're from Kenya. It's like 3 a.m. there. Well, let's see. Time in Kenya. 4:30. 4:30. I don't want you getting in trouble. You people are like, way past your bedtime. ASML. Is that a play? Is that a play? I mean, granted, they just released their earnings today. We already dove into it. The business, like the narrative is just like it's still crushing it. And the stock didn't move like significantly towards like from the news. So it's kind of like, have we reached a sleepy era in this like supply chain play? You know what I mean? So now I'm just like very curious. Like it was a play 6 months ago, just like memory. Hey, A-Dub, how you doing, legend? Hope you're having an incredible day, man. Have you checked out Seagate? They're memory, right? Memory Seagate. What is it? STX. Everything in whoa. Oh there, boy. Don't go there, boy. Dang, shawty. 55. Whoa. What the heck? What? Oh my god. This is insane. Memory just confuses me. It's just like everyone's making money in this. I don't condone people to dump their whole life savings into it. But if you're going to invest in memory, you should gotta be very careful right now. Like it's ripped like nobody's business, y'all. You know? Why did I pull that up? It's supposed to be something else. Pull this up. Like it ripped like nobody's business. It's insane. Seagate. But I wonder, let's see. They mainly do consumer stuff. Are they expanding into enterprise? Right? Was like what was the big thing, A-Dub? Was the big thing that they were expanding into enterprise? Investors. Dun, 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 dun. Hold on, reading now. I'm gonna read with you. We're gonna read together. We're gonna read all this together. Here we go. Revenue. Or, wait, why are we asking all these questions as if we... Okay. Tell me about... and how they compare competitively against other memory names. Here you go, ADub. Here's a key lesson. Use AI. Do they have a moat? Are they prioritizing the enterprise data center AI segment or predominantly consumer? Because here's the thing, ADub, if they're tackling this memory play, but only focused on, if they're tackling this memory play and they're only focused on consumer, that's not as attractive, right? Because like the consumer segment is just like, you know, for PCs and regular computer storage and all that stuff. Let's see how they fit here. This AI tool is just, this guy's locked. So they do HDDs for AI and cloud data centers. The data center in the market comprised of sales into cloud, enterprise, and video imaging now represents 80% of total revenue. Yeah. 80% of total revenue is sold to data centers now. Declining consumer focus. AI is a likely driver. The question on memory, though, is like, how much more do you need to, like, how much more do you need to, hear me out, like on memory, the key is, and the key question is like, how much more do you need for how long? You get me? Like there's like, I'm trying to, how do I articulate this? You know how when you guys buy an external hard drive, how long does it take before you use it all up? So we need to buy another one. Like that's the question I'm trying to think conceptually here. Like with all these customers, data centers, enterprise folks buying memory, how quick do they use up that memory before they need to like buy more? You know what I'm saying? Like the memory components they buy now, is it good once it's fulfilled in terms of a shortage? Or is there just going to be a perpetual need to just like, oh, upgrade your memory, upgrade your memory, upgrade your memory, like things like that, you know? Then the memory space has more time to rip. But actually, I think critically around this. So they have a first mover advantage in commercializing heat-assisted magnetic recording hammer technology. Its Mosaic 3 platform, 30 terabytes, dang, I only got 2, is already shipping to major cloud providers, while Western Digital is nearly 2 years behind in the hammer rollout. Okay. Seagate is entirely focused on HDDs, and they may have, okay, Micron and Pure Storage. Pure Storage is more nuanced as the technologies are complementary rather than direct substitutes. HDDs remain unmatched in cost efficiency, offering roughly 6 times lower cost per terabyte than NAND flash. SSDs offer superior performance for processing AI data. Seagate's moat isn't in technology superiority over flash for all tasks, but it's unparalleled CapEx efficiency for mass storage. Data centers require both fast and cheap. Duopoly position in an essential market. Technology lead on hammer, but that's not going to be forever. And then cost efficiency. Okay. Here's all the memory names, y'all. Besides this missing SanDisk. But here's all the memory names. Yeah, memory. You gotta be really careful with that. I'm not as excited about memory. Everybody's in it already. And it's like a money grab right now. And that stuff can turn around quick in a matter of hours. So you gotta be really careful. You gotta be really careful, Shredlords. Let's check out this other one though. Garrett, what is this? TVC. OMG, TVC. What the heck? Tennessee Value Authority. Series D? This? Small modular reactor. Department of Energy. What do they do? TVC stock. You sure it's the right one? Sounds too good to be true. TVC. You mean TVA? I think you mean TVA, twin. Oh, wait. I don't know. TVC. Maybe it is TVC. Dun, 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 dun. I need the paper Spotify premium. This is jogged. TVC. I don't even know what they do. There's such a weird name. Tennessee Value Authority. Large energy provider. They look like doing a little bit of everything. This thing right here is too tied to the government for me. Too tied to the government for me, twin. Too tied to the government. We got a lot of names to watch. And at the end of the year, some of these are going to make a lot of money. And some of these are not going to make a lot of money. You know? So we just got to be really careful, y'all. We just got to be really careful. We just got to be really, really careful, y'all. Their nuclear is tied into that grid as well. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes a ton of sense. We got to get these pitches rolling, y'all. We got to get these pitches rolling, right? All right, chat. We learned a lot today. It's dinner time. But Shred Lords, if you haven't already, smash that like button. If you haven't subbed up to the main channel, check it out. If you haven't subbed up to the second channel, Kenny Finance Live, that's where all the clips that you missed are going to be on that channel. This was a very fun daytime vibe. I don't know if you guys, are used to this, but look, we was on the trading floor all day today, listening to earnings, learning about stuff, identifying opportunities. Garrett, our quant expert, now is in the Discord. Appreciate you, legend. Keep pumping those names out that are relevant, that are interesting. And I don't know. I'm a net buyer on Tesla. And it seems like the rest of you all are net buyers as well. So W's in the chat for that. I think we're all relatively aligned. And I really, really, really like some of these other names that we found, whether it be Vertiv, PLab, KLAC, KLIC, like other names within the value chain. We got to find more opportunities outside of AI because that's not the only sector to invest in. It's just like the loudest noise right now. So we got to find some other sectors to invest in, y'all. So we're going to find a lot more of those. And then when it comes to tomorrow, we have more earnings, actually. Let's what do we have tomorrow? Earnings calendar. Was it tomorrow? If not, I'm back to 6:30. Yeah, we got Apple. Apple and Visa and MasterCard. So we're just going to hear a little bit around what's going on there. Hear Apple earnings. It'll just be cool to listen and hear what they're talking about. It'd be cool to hear what they're talking about. It's going to be a little quick one. But I appreciate everybody rock with us. And I had a bunch of fun. I learned today. My head has expanded again. We're just continuously learning about new opportunities, making smart money moves. As we always say, invest responsibly, do your own homework before you pull the trigger on anything. But more importantly, the best thing you can do is just buy an index fund and have fun learning about this stuff. But I'm about to go give me some good dinner. It's a good day in the market, so I'm going to treat myself to probably some salmon. We're going to eat some salmon. My doctor, Nimrose, who's in the chat. I don't know if he's in the chat today, but he prescribed me a really nice diet of how to stay healthy and lean, So we're just trying to stay healthy, have fun. And that's that. So I will catch you all. I was going to play some Mark Raiders. But it's I got to crank on some stuff for this closing, y'all. So we're trying to close in 10 days. So I can't play Arc Raiders right now. I gotta grind. I gotta grind on the close so that we can get cash flow to buy more public stocks. This stuff is literally all a freaking video game. That's how cool this stuff is. It's literally all a video game. But I appreciate everybody rock with us. I want you to take care of yourselves first and foremost, your mental, your physical, and your emotional well-being. I also want you to invest responsibly, put your dollars into the market, into an index fund, and let that thing sit. Learn as much as you can every single day. Surround yourselves by amazing shred lords that are ambitious, that are supportive, that are happy and healthy. And you can do that by joining our Discord. And peace and love. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will catch you all literally tomorrow, right back. And I like this early stream vibe, so I might do an early stream tomorrow as well. So, all right, shred lords, I appreciate you guys. I'm out of here, but keep watching the other stuff and stay frosty, invest responsibly, and keep making smart money moves. Peace.